Life is what we make it. See it every day on Rogers Television.
Tonight, live from the Ottawa Civic Centre, it's the OHL champions against the Memorial Cup champions, live on OHL Primetime. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ottawa Civic Centre. Welcome to OHL Primetime. My name is Howie Mooney, and I am your host for tonight's Game 3 of this series between the Belleville Bulls and the Ottawa 67's. Well, it's been a home team series so far. The 67's winning Game 1 by a score of 3-2, despite being outshot 43-20. Levente Zuper was outstanding in the Ottawa goal. In Game 2, it was the Belleville Bulls winning that one by a score of 4-1 in familiar surroundings in the Belleville Yardman Arena. But tonight, it's Game 3, two teams that don't like each other. But let's send things upstairs now to a couple of guys who do like each other, Neil Turcotte and Jerrett DeFazio. Guys?
Thanks, Howie. Appreciate it. Yes, Jerrett DeFazio. It's been the running of the Bulls. You'd almost think we were in Spain. The Bulls have been running so fast, so furious. One matador has stepped up. Levente Zuper has done his job. But I really have to say the rest of the team seems to be getting outworked on the Ottawa 67 side.
Well, exactly. They can't rely on Levente Zuper for too much longer in this series. The 67's are going to have to regroup as a team, come out with a collective strong performance, and not rely so much on Levente Zuper.
The defense, too, seems to be a little suspect. We didn't see this last year at all in their drive to Memorial Cup. The defense was strong. They were up in the play. They were making the pass, carrying the puck with Brian Campbell. This year, they don't seem to have that. They don't seem to have the Luke Sellers and Jonathan Zion just don't seem to be performing the way they did during the regular season.
Yeah, they're going to have to get more output from John Zion and Luke Sellers. John Zion's -4 in the playoffs so far, and Luke Sellers is a -1. These two players are going to have to really step up their game if they want to have success in the playoffs against the Bulls.
And they're fast skaters, and you would think they'd have a better time dealing with the forwards who Belleville, who are just very, very fast. Guys like Randy Rowe and Kevin Baker.
Well, Kevin Baker and Randy Rowe did so much damage, especially up in Belleville with the big ice surface, as we talked about a lot. Rowe with a goal and 2 assists, and Baker with a big goal. And these guys can put numbers on the board. Baker had 44 goals last year, and Rowe, with that goal and 2 assists, they're big factors for the Bulls.
Well, there you have it. You got the running of the Bulls and see if there's any matadors that are going to step up who are outside of the net area. Howie, back to you.
Well, earlier I said these two teams don't like each other very much. Well, what I said was true. You saw the guys warming up behind the two guys. When they were coming off the ice at the end of that pregame warm-up, some fireworks happened. Nick Policelli from the Belleville Bulls was taunting Lance Galbraith. You could see Policelli walking away there, and Galbraith, the two of them had a skirmish. There were words between Galbraith and the owner's son, the owner of the Belleville Bulls' son, Brad Vaughn. Those two were, and I'll tell you, the hallway outside of our studio right here was packed with people. There were some not nice words said back and forth, and I'll tell you, this is going to be good. Folks, keep it right here. We'll have more fireworks right here on OHL Primetime. Just a moment. Keep it here.
OHL Primetime is brought to you by the Ottawa Sun, your choice for sports. The Ottawa Sun, a proud sponsor of Rogers Television.
And you hear the crowd going off. The fireworks have already started, but the guys who haven't seen any fireworks yet, Jerrett, are the goaltenders tonight. Starting goaltenders right here, number 30, Levente Zuper.
Levente Zuper, 7 games played, got a 2.39 goals against average. He's done Ottawa 67's in this playoff run.
Well, this will be one night where you hope vision is 30-30 instead of 20-20, and the other 30 is Corey Batten.
Corey Batten, his 3rd game played, 1 game 2 for the Bulls and came in. Corey Batten, 2.00 goals against average. The overager, the starter for the Belleville Bulls.
Well, you see, there's no penalties that have been assessed that we can tell based on that skirmish from before the play. I'm really surprised by that, Jerrett.
Well, we talked about it at the start. This rivalry, Ottawa-Belleville, really over the history, never really happened until last season in the run towards the Memorial Cup. Now it's the most heated rivalry, Ottawa-Belleville, and you saw it in the warm-up, and it should carry over into this game.
Well, Talbot Renzi faced off. Belleville won the draw, dumped it into the corner. Picked up by Van Hoof, tries to put it up the boards. Picked up by Zoltek. Zoltek strides down over the blue line, tries to go inside, outside, can't do it. Puck tossed into the corner. Rough ride by Bertrand on Talbot. Talbot still fighting hard for the puck, and Campbell decides that's enough.
Now Corey Batten jumps on the puck, getting the start, game 3. He gets the start. We'll take a look at the scratches tonight. For the 67's, Mark Bell, Cody Glasper, and Kevin Malcolm. And for the Belleville Bulls, Mark Chaplin and Branislav Mezzi.
You know, Metzi's one of those players I think Belleville will find is a greater loss than most people anticipate. He's got that spur. He's always doing a little something that makes the other team think twice when he's on the ice.
Well, first round draft choice Masters on his side, 6'5". He's a big loss for the Bulls.
Belleville on the attack over the red line, dumps it right on Zuper. He steers it off into the corner. Van Hoof over to pick it up, puts it into a crowd, gets it back, under pressure, gets some help from Moyer. Out in the center, Bertrand drills back into his own end, puts it up the boards to Chapman. Sorry, Stanley. Tipped in. On a foot races Renzi. Renzi decides to give Galbraith a little bit of a ride. Galbraith just goes for the puck, comes up with it, puts it off the boards. Can't get it by Policelli, but it comes out over the blue line. Galbraith and Policelli might look to reacquaint themselves again. Both on the ice, and here comes Galbraith on Policelli. Policelli backhands it up, out into the neutral ice area. Sellers just coming on. Gets the icing waved off as a result. Picks it up, stops behind his net. Puts it up the left wing boards to Davidson. Davidson takes a nice hard hit before getting across ice. Potential icing. And looks like Belleville will get it. As the Ottawa player, I guess, expecting a two-line pass, didn't play it.
Close play for the 67's there. Davidson feeding across the Lil. Just missed. We'll take a look at the keys to victory for the 67's once again. Levente Zuper has to be super for the hometown squad. Mental mistakes in game 2. You saw the 67's make a lot, especially on the big Belleville ice surface. Tighten up the defense. The defense really has to tighten up, just like in game 1, where they really tightened up the defense on the powerful, quick Belleville forwards.
Yeah, one thing Ottawa did well in that first game was that they didn't allow Belleville really any skating room. They got the pressure on them rather quickly, and Belleville, used to the bigger ice surface, likes to skate. They like to carry, and they like to move, and I find that that was taken away here last game. And then in Belleville, the opposite happened. Belleville just skated away with the puck.
Exactly right.
Ottawa wins the draw, it's in the corner. In there's Holdren. Holdren bangs it up the boards, gets it back on the bounce, skates dangerously in front of his own net. Barziller still can't get it out. Ottawa dangling with it in their own zone. And finally it's forced out. Well, Galbraith bounces off at Cheechoo. Belleville working out into the neutral zone. And there's Holdridge again. Holdridge just dumps it in. That's the end of Cornacchia. And looks like Miguel DeLille's going to pick himself up the penalty for bumping into Corey Batten. And Batten almost makes it to the bench, and then play is called.
Well, Neil, we talked about this a lot in this series, and the 67's are going to have to stay out of the penalty box against the Belleville Bulls. Time and time again, we talk how good their offense is. The Belleville Bulls, keys to victory for this game. One guy that is going to be on the power play, Cornacchia. Game 1, he was fantastic, best player on the ice for the Bulls. He's a key to their victory. The transition game, the Bulls are explosive. When they get that puck from the defense up to the forwards, they turn it around better than anyone in the league. Who steps up for the Meze loss? We talked about Cornacchia offensively, but someone defensively, like a player like Bertrand or Policelli, have to step up for a key to victory with Meze out of the lineup.
Well, goaltender interference, no surprise the call there on Miguel Dill. The home crowd, of course, a little partisan, don't really approve, but can't say I disagree with it. Talbot wins the draw. Really surprised that we're not going to see Tessier out there taking those face-offs. They're resting him as much as possible, I would think.
Yeah, Bert O'Brien was on the team. I listened to him earlier, and he was saying that his knee's still a little sore, so he's still going to see spot duty, not in the regular flow of things, regular lineup.
Cornacchia carries it into the Ottawa zone. turned away though by Galbraith. Galbraith back on a 2-on-2, 3-on-2 developing now. Zion trailing. Calder trying to drop to Zion. Zion wisely takes a defensive position, 3-on-2, coming back Belleville's way. Here goes Baker. Baker plays it at the blue line, gets dumped, and causes offside in favor of Ottawa on the defense.
Well, that's one player the 67's are going to have to watch. Kevin Baker, with his speed, 44 goals last season. Scored a big goal in Belleville. There's a look at Coach Lou Crawford for the Belleville Bulls.
Just your opinion on Randy Rowe's play in the playoffs.
Randy Rowe's play? Well, the people at Rogers Cable seem to think that he doesn't play a solid 60 minutes, and if there's ever a poster boy that plays a solid 60 minutes, it's definitely Randy Rowe, and for that matter, it's the whole Belleville Bulls. And I think the Rogers Cable people have woken a giant up with the comments that they're making. So, again, it's nice to see, and thanks very much to the media.
Well, we'll take the other side of the fence on the next stoppage and play, but for now, Ottawa has managed to get the puck down the ice and change their penalty killers. And out there still is Cornette. You called it. He'd be out there, and he still is. Just dumps the soft one in. It's picked up by Van Hill. He puts it up and out of the crowd. Puts some air under that one. And speaking of putting some air under it, Jerrett, let's have your side.
Well, it's a great job by Lou Crawford. That's what he has to do. He's the coach of the Belleville Bulls. He's got to get his club fired up, and he's going to take any kind of situation he can and use it to his advantage. So it's a great job by Lou Crawford. At the same time, I don't know what he's talking about Randy Rowe. He's the consummate workhorse, gives it 150% every night, and I don't know where you're going to see that in the media that it was said any differently. Randy Rowe was said that he has to step up his play with Reddy from last year, the overage out of the lineup, and we'll see if Belleville plays all 60 minutes tonight.
Jacobson takes a slow shot towards the net. He got through, but Supersteer decides he's going to get another chance. Decides to pass it off instead to Bertrand. Bertrand Jacobson, play a little give and go, dump down low. Blocked by Kevin Holdridge. Holdridge up to Galbraith. Galbraith tries to dump it across. Jacobson, speedy coming back. Baker turns it around the other way. Back comes Wellwood. Wellwood, drop for Baker. Quick shot! He scores! Kevin Baker adds to his 4 goals. He's got 5 in this playoffs.
Well, we talked about the transition game of the Belleville Bulls and a key to victory. Well, you saw it right there, folks. The quick transition with the Bulls. The quick pass up the middle. First-round draft choice, Kyle Wellwood steps in over the blue line. There's Wellwood playing solid in this series, and he feeds it to Baker, and he makes no mistake. 44 goals last year. He makes no mistake when he's coming in on you. And Baker, early in this game, puts the Belleville Bulls up 1-0.
And Holdridge got turned around and just got stuck in no man's land right in front of the net. 2 guys coming down. He didn't take either of them. Didn't take the lane away, didn't take the high man coming down. But essentially it was a 2-0 for Levente Zuper. And it looks like Ottawa has got another penalty. Lance Galbraith for something. I didn't see it. Did you, Jerrett?
No, I didn't see the call. What happened with Lance Galbraith? Obviously it was something after the whistle. We'll have to see on the call what Lance Galbraith is in the penalty box for. You know, just finishing off on that point with Randy Rowe, we talked about it in game 1 with the overager Reddy now out of the lineup and the grit that he brought along to the Bulls. Randy Rowe has had to respond to play his game. He's the type of player that can really step up in the absence, and he has done a fantastic job for the Bulls. And he has 3 points in game 2, and he was one of the differences.
Radovojevic carries it into the 6-7 zone. Rowe was trying to get to the puck. He gets bumped off it, gets it back, drops back to the point for Karnakia. Karnakia hangs on to it, has time, decides to dump it in behind the net, takes a bounce off to the far side boards. Zion tries to get to it. Jacobs also fighting in there for Ottawa. Belleville comes up, moves to the slot, quick snapshot! And Randy Rowe almost increased Belleville's lead.
Well, it was almost 2-0 early on with Lance Galbraith in the box, but Levente Zuper makes a big save at a big time. He's been doing that all season long, making big stops at the right time for the Ottawa 67's. And here's a good example of it. Randy Rowe with a quick release, doesn't get all the wood on it, but just the same, it's along the ice trying to go 5-hole surprise, and Zuper makes a stop.
You know, some people sitting back home think, oh, well, he had time. Maybe he should have held on to it and shot. What's your take on that? A lot of people say just get the shot off.
Oh, you see some good goal scorers. They've got that one-time quick release where the goalie doesn't have a chance to react. You got to go with the quick release.
And boy, did he ever let it go in a heartbeat. Levente Zuper was there, as is Ketchin, who's out to take a draw. And he'll look like he's going straight to the bench for a changeup. As Ottawa still trying to kill this penalty. Back-to-back penalties for Ottawa. Power play goal number 1. Gives Belleville the 1-0 lead. Now comes Wellwood again. Wellwood taking out of the play, but he got to Stanley. Stanley back to Baker, back to Wellwood. Wellwood puts it back to the point, Kornakia. Zoltek falls, Kornakia steps in, screen shot, saved by Zuper. Off in the corner, Holdren pounds it off the boards, down the ice, batting out to play it.
45 in the car.
Kornakia rounds out behind his own net. Talbot picks up the far side winger, allows Kornakia to come right up the middle. He flips the high one. Zuper looks like he's going to try and catch it, just kind of floated over him though. Belleville tries to keep it in the corner. Kornakia's down there on the side. Gets it down to Baker. Baker loses it on the pass back, and Zoltek clears the zone quite effectively. That way out of his net. Decides just to leave it for Jacobson. Jacobson, soft pass behind Baker, manages to play it off the boards. Then he gives it away. Kornakia is now sent back with it. And Kornakia makes a bad pass to Jacobson. Jacobson tries to get it up the boards to McCourt. He can't make any movement with it. Shot from the point by Sellers, just misses. On the far side, picked up Nathan Robinson. He doesn't get into the Ottawa zone. And Ottawa flips it up and out of play. And that power play much less effective than the first one we saw.
Yeah, 1-2 combo with the Bulls. The first one really moving the puck around well. On the second one, the penalty killing unit of the 67's did a good job of keeping the Bulls to the outside and then quickly getting on the loose puck and getting it down the ice. Kevin Holt did a good job on the second penalty kill in the puck down deep. Here's the chance. Zoltek falls on the play. You see Zoltek coming back in the screen. Give Kornakia a good lane to come down and take the shot, but Leventi Zuper had all kinds of time, had a good eye view of the puck and made the stop.
And Chris Stanley went right across number 13 for Belleville, went right across. Probably been better off to stop in front of Zuper. But hindsight's 2020. And Belleville now with the puck, getting out as far as the blue line. Brennan Bell's waiting for it. Passes it over to Holdren. Holdren steps over the red line, dumps it in. Galbraith collides with his man. That's McCormick, and Galbraith's now tied up a little. Referee Scott Hoberg there to try and clean things up. Meanwhile, players falling on the other side of the ice. Holdren stops. Tries to go behind his own net. Has to pass it off to Bell. Brendan Bell, the only Bell on this team right now. Martel in it due to a concussion injury, and Chicago deciding not to take any more chances. With it now is Payma. Payma doesn't get very far. Ottawa tries the middle pass. They're looking more for the line change. There's going to be a chance for Rick Bertrand to get it in. He dumps it ahead. Nathan Robinson now giving chase. Bounces off the boards, gets by him. Holdren off the boards to Talbot. Talbot having a little trouble with Rick Bertrand. Nathan Robinson gets tied up in there somehow. And Ottawa's allowed to clear it to the neutralized area. Policelli. Cross ice, they get it into the middle. Here comes Mike Renzi. Renzi, Stanley. Stanley dumps it off into the corner. And again, Ottawa just pounds it up off the boards. Ottawa having a lot of trouble controlling the puck right now. Jacobson just kind of worked one through to the far side for Stanley. He can't pick it up. Back comes Ottawa. Pass the middle. Talbot, quick shot on net. And Talbot goes crashing, well, not crashing, but gently tapping into Corey Batten with some help from Policelli.
We talk about that quick release, Neil. There was Joe Talbot letting go a quick release on the shot. Tied for 5th in the league with 7 assists, but he almost scores one here. As you see, Moyer makes a nice pass through the stick, and Talbot doesn't wait. He uses the defenseman as a screen and gets a good shot, but look at Batten right out at the top of the crease, gets out and makes the stop for the Belleville Bulls.
Give the shooter less net to look at. And that caused the face-off, which out there is Dan Tessier facing off against Franco Radovojevic. Radovojevic wins it for Belleville. Pounded up off the glass. Radovojevic looking for it. Bounces to Papineau. Justin Papineau wearing the full face protection after that cut he sustained in Game 1 here at the Ottawa Civic Center. Left in the second period, did not return. Shot from the point, goes off the leg. Dangerously in front. Knocked away from Papineau. Rowe takes a bump from Van Hoot. Along the side, Radovojevic gets some help from Papineau. Dumped on the play was Moyer. Back to Jacobson. And Josh Carter causes a little turnover. Jacobson comes down, takes a shot, is up and out of play, and the fans want a penalty from behind the play, as I believe it was Moyer that was dumped.
Yeah, I believe it was actually Captain Dan Tessier as he was driving to the net, and Davidson let the shot go, and Tessier was working hard to work through his check to get to the net for the rebound, and he was upended by a Belleville Bulls back checker. As we see Davidson coming in over the blue line, he lets the shot go, and just in behind the play, the Belleville Bulls back checker does a good job of taking Dan Tessier out of the play.
You see Dan sliding to a stop a la small Zamboni.
It's a good job by the Bulls back checker. He gets away with it. He's got to tie his man up going to the net. I believe it was Randy Rowe that I just saw leaving the screen at the tail end, taking Dan Tessier. There's no call on the play.
Well, Konopka tried to push it into the Belleville zone. Policelli picked it up and immediately fired off the, well, let's just say the cranium of Coach Lou Crawford.
Well, there's Nick Policelli, who was involved in the melee earlier with Lance Galbraith.
Is he trying to get himself taken out of the lineup? He gets in a fight before the game with Galbraith. He shoots the puck at the coach. Does he want to play?
Exactly. He likes some of those great hot dogs here at the Civic Center.
That must be it. Cheechoo, one hand on the stick, manages to get it around 3 Ottawa players and out on the far side. Sellers on the near boards, moves it up. Policelli picks it off, takes a weird bounce. Konopka racing board, can't get to it. Galbraith tied up. That allows Kyle Wellwood, the rookie, number 97, to dump it in towards Levente Zuper. He misplays it with the glove. The Konopka's there. Get out of harm's way to Lil. Avoids the bump. Gets up to Galbraith. Galbraith, 1-on-3. Tries a little snapshot. Gets it on the net. And then bounces into the goaltender, Corey Patton. And that'll draw a crowd. Policelli and Galbraith talking again.
Yeah, you're going to see this battle all night long. Policelli and Galbraith. Good job by Lance driving to the net, trying to get Batten off his game. That's the kind of style that everyone loves about Lance Galbraith, and that's what he's going to have to do, and that's how he is effective as a hockey player. You see Galbraith drive to the net, lets a quick shot go.
Little Messier one-step.
The one-step Messier, and as he goes to the net, there's a little poke at Batten, a little extra push. That's playoff hockey, folks. You're going to see players on both sides doing little things like that, any little edge that they can give their hockey club to win this game, to win this series.
Well, referee Scott Hoberg didn't seem to think there's anything wrong with that, so that means that Derek Nansen will drop the puck. The linesman and Steve Corleone taking the spot on the far side. LeFay wheels around and puts it around the boards. Picked up on the far side by Nathan Robinson gets it up into middle ice area. Holdridge with it. And to LeFay. LeFay tries a little touch and go with Chapman. That didn't happen, so Holdridge will try again. Wait to do a line change. He can't do it because Belleville's got possession. Jumped in by Lovell. No bounce on the boards. That allows McCormick to pick it up, puts it up in front, and scores! He must have bounced that one in.
Oh, this is a nice play by the Belleville Bulls forwards. A quick pass from behind. You think the pass isn't going to come, and then all of the last second, a sneak pass to the front of the net. Zuper really didn't have much time to react. Take a look on the replay here, folks. Renzi with a quick pass. Zuper thinks he's going around the net and instead makes that quick pass before he gets behind the net. This is a solid, smart heads-up play.
Right on the tape of Nathan Robinson.
Nathan Robinson scores another goal. Goals in each game. He scored a big goal in Belleville, and his speed is effective. And he was a killer last year against the 67's, right, Neil, when playing against the Bulls with his speed, the rookie last year, and he's doing damage again in this one.
Yeah, we liked Nathan Robinson last year. When we saw him play, he was just a lot of talent, needed some experience, and boy, with that experience, now he's a deadly combination out there on the ice. Policelli with it now. Zoltek's going to give him a bit of a bump. Doesn't matter, he gets it ahead to Renzi. Renzi tries to move it ahead, picked off by Ottawa. Having a little trouble, it ends up backing into his own corner. Russ Moyer, and decides to get the stick up. And Eric Scott Homer was too busy protecting himself. Delayed outside against Belleville. Comes on him, bounces off the boards. Well, wrong boards. You got the inside, the stadium boards as opposed to the ringside boards. They look similar.
Well, Dan Tessier is coming out on the ice in a face-off situation that's not really crucial.
Got to get him out there.
Yep, so it looks like maybe it's time. You know, you're down 2-0. It's game 3. You know, Dan Tessier might just have to step up the plate, even injured, and Brian Kilray knows that. He doesn't want to put a player in a situation if he's injured. But it gets to a point where Dan Tessier, the captain, Overager, might say, hey, give me the green light, it's time I go.
And it looks like they're trying to get him away from maybe some of the bigger players on Belleville side. Oh, one off the iron. As Davidson is out there with Tessier. Tessier pounds it in off of Davidson's pass. Batten whips it off the glass. Davidson tries to pick it up. Can't sell it. From the point. One-timer. Player jumped in front of the net. Off the post! Tessier thought he scored. He beat him on the far side. But it looks like it didn't cross the line. Oh, that was close. Tessier doing what he was supposed to do. And the puck now fired up in the air. And Tessier gets leveled after the play by Radovojevic.
Well, Dan Tessier came around the net on fire and let a shot go from an angle. I don't know how he put that in behind Corey Batten. But luck not on Dan Tessier's side. It looks like it hits the inside of the post and then stays out. But Radovojevic is going to get the gate. He's going to get 2 minutes for this one. And the 67's will go on their first power play of the night.
And that was uncalled for, too. I mean, I guess he was upset because Dan almost scored. But Radovojevic, bing! Ring for dinner, folks. There's the bell.
Tessier comes around with it. Right off the crossbar and out.
Inside the post, too. He got the inside of the post, and it just came straight back out. You know he only missed by half a centimeter. Zoltek tries to pound it through off the draw. And sportsmanlike conduct is the penalty.
And this is where we're talking about, Neil, the defense. Sellers, Zion are both out there. They're going to have to really carry the puck and add some offense with the forwards.
Well, the forwards are Talbot, who's got the puck now. Zoltek and Jacobs. Zoltek gets a nice ride into the corner, courtesy of Belleville. And then the puck tips out over the blue line. Zion hurries back to get it. Sellers looking for that cross-site pass. There it is. Back to James over Zoltek. Talbot puts it behind him. And you know this is where you'd love to have Dan Tessier if you could. Sellers from the point. Nice clear shot. No traffic whatsoever. Easy glove save. Corey Batten.
Well, the 67's get the puck in quickly. Move it around. Luke Sellers, as you saw in game one with that big shot, scored the game-winning goal. He's got a rocket from the point. He tees this one up. No traffic in front. Gets it up just a little bit high where there'll be no rebound, and Batten gets it up right in the big mitt. Trapper and makes the stop for the Bulls.
Now, Jerrett, if you're on the power play, don't you want someone in front of that net looking to tip that puck and have to keep it a little lower to make that happen, or is that just the pretty much shot you were looking for?
No, certainly you want to get someone in front, some of the bigger forwards for the 67's, whether it's a Zoltek, a Jacobs, or Galil, get the stick on it, some traffic is coming back, and maybe tip one home.
Puck wrapped around the board, Zion keeps it in. Puts down to Galbraith, he takes the slap, gets it to Tessier. Tessier trying to throw it to DeLille. Miguel DeLille plants himself on the near side of the crease with no intention so far. Dan Tessier working the boards, using it on the second line power play. Tessier on the doorstep, rings the bell and puts it by this time.
Tessier has brought the crowd to their feet. The fans exploded when the Ottawa native overager and captain and leader of the 67's scores no bigger goal in his OHL career at this point. Lance Galbraith does the dirty work, gets the puck to the front of the net, and then Dan Tessier on the rebound shovels this one home in behind Corey Batten.
Nice give and go executed, then traffic to the front, and you called it. Get somebody in front of the net. Galbraith was the one that went in front. That opened a lane for Dan Tessier.
Number 3, Dan Tessier.
Tanaka misses his hit. Galbraith picks up the puck. Cheechoo gets it now for Belleville. Jumped ahead by Policelli.
Pizza time of goal, 11:49.
Miguel DeLille just wraps it on the back end. Policelli picks it up. Bertrand with it. Bertrand pushes for Konopka, tries to fire one cross ice. Doesn't get it to Sands. Now on takes over DeLille. Back to Zion. Sorry, it's not Zion, that was Bell. Bell again with it. Has Holdridge with it. Decides to go up the middle looking for DeLille or Konopka. DeLille, no! And that's going to be a penalty to Belleville! Zenon Konopka got dumped, and he kept the feet going, and that's what sold it.
Well, the workhorse Zenon Konopka, who's been fantastic throughout the playoffs, and any assignment he has been given, whether it's offense, defense, face-offs, back-checking, or some fisticuffs, Konopka has been solid.
That was Miguel DeLille.
It is Miguel DeLille.
Konopka falls in front,
gets
too.
upended. We thought that was the call right there with Kyle Wellwood, but it ends up being the other one with DeLille. So the 67's, who have the 5th-ranked power play at 20.4%, go on the power play.
And Zion moves it down into the corner. It's tipped out in front. But the 67's have long since looked elsewhere for the puck. And it's cleared by Belleville. Sellers, set up shot behind his own net. Goes out the far side. Looking to pass it to the right. Doesn't. Brings up the middle. Now passes right. And it just bounces off Jacobson. Picks that one off easy.
Yeah, Luke Sellers got to try and hang on to that puck just a little bit longer. Maybe carry it into the zone for the 67's and get control of it.
And coming back up ice towards Ottawa's end, Zoltek and Karnakia had something going with the sticks. We'll see. You have to watch any develop from that. Carrying it up ice now. Here comes Ian Jacobs. Big Ian Jacobs. Dumps off to the point. Sellers with the shot. Moves in front. Talbot can't get to it. And it gets away. Super out to play it. Moves it up to Zion. Zion rounds the corner, looking to go to the attack. He does. He steps in. Puts on the break. Tries to move through the defense. Can't get by Karnakia. But Tessier keeps it in the point. Zion to Tessier. He's on the back end. Drops the Sellers. Over Tessier on the forehand now. Tessier. Wrist shot. Oh, and it goes off a leg and into the corner. Tessier back to the point. Next leg for Sellers. Shoots for net. Karnakia escapes and just misses the net. Karnakia escapes with possibly demoralizing events and goes to the bench for a much-needed rest. Out comes Ottawa. Galbraith on the right wing. He just sends it around. Intercepted by Patton on the board. Tries to get it to Galbraith. That one bounces away. And back comes Stanley. Stanley all alone. Winds up, takes the shot. Missed the net. Super looked like he didn't think it was going where it did go. Brendan Bell. Up along the board, down to the middle for Tessier. Here comes the speedy little Tessier. And Tessier had DeLille on the go. And Galbraith and Policelli are going to get wrapped up as Policelli tried to get to Tessier. And that'll draw a crowd.
Oh, Galbraith, Tessier's winger's going to get in there. Make sure protecting his centerman, Dan Tessier. And I'm actually surprised that there hasn't been a lot of extracurricular activity, but here we go.
Tessier's got to get out of there. He's teamed up with Policelli right now. That's a mistake. And the ref has got a hold of Galbraith. Meanwhile, you got a 2-on-1 on Tessier, but Holdridge steps in wisely, and I think Tessier got away with one. You know, Tessier right now is nominated for one of the Sportsman Awards. Get the exact name of it. The William Hanley Trophy, most gentlemanly player. Tessier's nominated for that right now, but Tessier, after the play, gave a nice little slash to the Belleville players as he's skating away. And that's what started the increased heat levels in the corner.
Yeah, it looks like Dan Tessier got away with one as he's over at the bench right now. And it looks like...
They're calling for Ottawa to serve something. Got Lance in there.
Policelli is heading to the dressing room with 5:24 to go. So it looks like he's going to get a 10-minute misconduct on top of, or maybe it's just a 10-minute misconduct, because there's nothing up on the board right now.
And right now, referee Scott Hoberg waving for Ottawa to come over, so that'll be Dan Tessier. So Dan Tessier's going to go find out what he did.
Exactly.
So what's going on, ref? I think you know, Dan, you were there. You started it all. And Lance Galbraith's gone too. We see 71 leaving. So 71 and 2, the two guys that were involved in before. Mike Russ has the call. Let's take a listen to it.
penalties, number 71, Lance Galbraith, 2 minutes each for roughing, and each a 10-minute misconduct. Marcel Belanger, time of the penalties, 14.
There you go. Policelli and Galbraith picking up 2 for roughing each and 10s. You called it. And that's a good call. They started before the game with that little rough stuff, and Scott Hoberg really has no choice in assessing the 10s.
Well, that's, if you look at the trade-off, that's a tough trade-off for the 67's. The 67's lose Galbraith for 12 minutes. The Bulls lose Policelli. Policelli's a solid defenseman for the Belleville Bulls, but they have some other intangibles back there like Kornakia that can step up in the absence, whereas a depleted lineup already with the 67's and some feisty wingers like Kevin Malcolm and Mark Bell out, 12 minutes is a long time to go without Lance Galbraith in a 67's jersey.
You definitely lose the penalty minute leaders from both teams, so that's a wash. But you're right, there's just a different intangible to the way the teams play. Belleville's a high-flying offensive team. Policelli, although, as you said, a stand-up defenseman, it's not quite the same sort of factor. As we take a look at how it started in the corner, there's Policelli and Tessier. And there's a little bit of tussles going there. But play is back underway with both men gone. And the rough stuff's continuing, but Gel DeLille got a little tussle with Josh Sands. Picked up by Wellwood. Wellwood has the Cheechoo. Cheechoo misfires, goes wide. Bertrand sends it back into the corner. Cheechoo trying to corral it. He's under some pressure. He's still got control of the puck, though, protecting it extremely well. Tries to keep the cycle going, but it goes off the skate as he tried to move it around. And Jacobson will have to retreat into neutralized area. Now Jacobson inside his own zone. Belleville feeling a little bit of pressure that always mounting now. They just dump it in. Holdridge back to pick it up. Belleville's going to make a line change. That should allow Ottawa to clear the zone. Davidson up at the red line. Goes cross ice on the dump in. Davis throws it at the net. Nice quick shot. 2 guys going to the front. Couldn't get stick on. In the slot. Quick shot. Cheechoo has 1 man to beat. It's him and Van Hoot. Cheechoo and Van Hoot. Cheechoo and Van Hoot. Van Hoot. Van Hoot rolls up Cheechoo. And allows Super to come and play the puck. And behind the play, it looks like Moyer was dumped by Stanley. Stanley and Moyer now bumping. Van Hoot. Baker with the puck, and that will be the result of a penalty as Moyer got slashed viciously. Speaking of vicious, I think we got our little vicious bulldog Howie Mooney ready, standing by. Howie?
Well, I don't want to take away from this, but coming up in the first intermission, we'll have an interview with the assistant coach of the Ottawa 67's. That is Vince Millette. We will also have an interview with the owner and president of the 67's, Jeff Hunt. That's all coming up in the first intermission, guys.
Thanks, Howie. Well, it looks like a high sticking penalty was called.
Yeah, we'll
to Mike Renzi.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the replay here with Renzi. Right here, as you see Moyer go down. And there's the call. Kind of going for the stick there, Renzi, and it ends up getting poked up and right into Moyer's face. And you can take a look at Justin Papineau right there at the face-off, and maybe one of the reasons why that penalty was called.
That's a very good point, Jerrett. Does that play get called if one of the Belleville players isn't already cut by a high stick or a skate, as the case was?
I don't think so. I think it's a questionable call. You saw that the stick got accidentally brought up by Renzi, but maybe the referee right there sends a message. He sees Papineau wearing the full shield and goes with it.
And of course, things getting a little unsettled as the temperatures starting to rise in both squads. It's Ottawa on the attack on the power play. Minute 30 left to go. 30 seconds in. And 3:15 left to go in this opening period of Game 3 here at the Ottawa Civic Center. Sellers keeps it at the point, only briefly though. It's going to be chipped out. Sellers will get another chance to control it because it's to Zion. Zion waits for teammates to get outside. They put the first to speed on, gets the bounce off the board, throws it to the middle. And Tessier couldn't get to it. Tessier throws out a pretty good slash, gets away with that. Tessier now throws it back to the point. Sultan points it, fires, oh, he missed the net. And it's fired down the ice by Randy Rowe. Levente Zuber gives it away to Papineau. And luckily Ottawa came back. Zion with the shot from the blue line. Roy back steers it into the corner. Davidson tries to hold it in on the boards. He's under pressure from Stanley and Jacobson. That one, DeLille helps. He gets the puck back to Zion. Pass goes.
talked about the rocket that Luke Sellers has from the point. And at the start, we talked about Sellers and Zion happened to jump into the play. And on this power play, it is all controlled by these two players. Zion brought the puck into the play, turned it around, got it back to the point and over to Sellers. What a rocket. It's a tip on the way in, but just the same, it had a lot of speed on it and it didn't ever take off for the top corner. And the 67's are back in this hockey game, all tied up at 2 at 2:22 left in the period.
Jerrett, did you see who tipped that puck? Did it go off the Belleville player? Because right now they've given the goal to Luke Sellers with assist from Jacob.
I believe it went off the Belleville Bulls forward on the penalty kill. Maybe we can get another look at the replay and see, but I believe it's off the Bulls.
Holdridge moves in, chips it at the net. Batten went down real early, and Holdridge almost chipped it over him. Tataryn. Under pressure from Robinson. Tataryn runs the screen. And Garbleth can't get to it. Sorry to Tataryn. Paymon with it now for Belleville. Gets across the red line, just dumps it in. Van Hoop takes a big rounding approach. Moves it across to Holdridge. Holdridge up the left wing part. It was tipped by Chapman. And Van Hoop had to just pound it out to get it out of harm's way. Tataryn holds the stick of the Belleville player, gets away with that. Ottawa forced out from behind their own net by Josh Sands, thrown out in front, but Belleville wasn't there. Kyle Wellwood caused some trouble earlier and gets the shot away, although deflected. Still, possession Belleville. Van Hoop now tries to dump it back. Cheechoo gets there first. He's got Sands in front, throws it up front. 2 Ottawa players collapse on Sands. 1 minute left to go in this opening period. Belleville with the pressure. 2 all in to score. Tried to kick it away. Konopka can't clear it. Ottawa all kinds of trouble, and finally they just clear the ice and get that much-needed line change. And Cheechoo, fans wanted too many men penalty. They're not going to get it. Cheechoo's going off the ice, so he's perfectly legal out there. Davidson fires it through, goes all the way across ice for DeLille. Scramble in the corner. Jacobs can't control it. Comes up to Wellwood. Wellwood only has 18 seconds. Out comes Randy Rowe. Speedy Randy Rowe. He knows what time is left. He takes the shot. Radovojevic with it now. Radovojevic gets dumped. Look for the penalty. Won't get it. 5 seconds left in the period. Konopka rushing forward. Called down by Capito. No call. And Corey Batten might get himself a penalty for interference as he stepped out and leveled Miguel DeLille at the 0-0-0 mark of the first period. So right now the penalties will have to be assessed before the teams come out onto the ice. And I'm pretty sure that's a Corey Batten one.
Yeah, Corey Batten's going to get the call. The 67's are going to start the second period on a power play. Probably an interference call against Batten will be the call. And that first period was electric. It was just started in the pregame warm-up. As you see, the first one doesn't get called on Papineau. Here's the replay. Watch DeLille going to the net.
Batten never made any effort to get back into his net. He just stood there, held his ground, and as a result, got himself, got a teammate of his a penalty. And I think we're going to take a look at that goal again. Jerry, you can walk us through it.
Yeah, let's take a look at the goal, and John Zion has really stepped up his play here. Fantastic first period. Moves the puck over, and there it is, right off the goal. Forward, doing the penalty kill, and we call this first period a tale of 2 halves. The first half, the Bulls all over Ottawa, and then Ottawa with a gutsy performance response ties this game up at 2.
Well, we're going to have to take a quick break, and then we'll come back with the first intermission right after these words. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
You see the score, 2-2, a wild and woolly first period, a wild start to the game as well. And 13-7, the shots on goal favoring the Ottawa 67's. I'm joined in studio now by the assistant coach of the 67's, Vince Millette. And Vince, that was quite a wild period, wasn't it?
Well, we kind of put ourselves behind the 8 ball at the start. We took 2 penalties there at the start of the game. And, you know, they got a great power play, so we can't afford to take penalties. And then they took some penalties, and we got an opportunity to get back and tie the game up. So if we're looking to win this game, we definitely got to stay out of the penalty box.
What were your thoughts after the game the other night in Belleville? It wasn't one of the 67's best games of the year.
No, we didn't play particularly very well the other night in Belleville. We probably had about 4 players that showed up to play out of the whole team, and we turned the puck over 3 or 4 times, and we gave them point-blank breakaways. And our hockey team's normally very good on the blue line, and we don't usually turn the puck over that well, but it was just one of those games.
Were you concerned at all when the Belleville Bulls made it 2-0 in that first period that, here goes the other night again?
No, not at all. We put ourselves, like I said at the beginning, we took some penalties and it gave them some power play chances. And when you give that team opportunities on the power play, they work with the momentum and they came at us. But we got ourselves back in the hockey game. We got a power play chance to get back into it, and we played well after that.
You sure did get back into it. Down 2-0, tied it up 2-2. Was there anything that you guys said to the players at all to get them back into it, or did they just sort of get it going themselves?
No, at this time of the year, you know, it's pretty well, the players know what they're playing for, and each game's important in the playoffs. It takes 4 games to win, so you really don't get impatient. You stay confident with the team we have. We know we'd be a better team with a few guys that we got out of the lineup, but we think we definitely can win with the guys we got in.
Is there anything that you have to worry about, anything that you've told the guys to concentrate on or key on when you're playing in your own end?
Well, against that hockey team, you got to be solid. You got to move the puck quick, and if you don't, you got to make sure it's out. And you can't afford to turn it over in your end because their forwards are so strong. They got 4 good lines that we just got to make sure the puck's out.
Cheechoo seems to be the quarterback, the guy that the puck seems to go through all the time on its way to another guy. Is he the guy, I guess, that you're worried about? Or I guess I know that you're looking at everybody, but is Cheechoo a guy you're concentrating on especially?
Well, we know he's out there and he's a good hockey player, but they got 4 lines that can go, so we just want to make sure that the line that's going against each of those lines does their job and make sure that we finish their hits and not give them too much ice.
Any comments on what happened before the game?
I didn't see it. I don't know what was going on.
It was kind of strange because it's not something that we usually see. I know that there are avid watchers of the Quebec League who've seen this kind of thing happen before, but we had 2 guys looking at each other and saying some things that weren't necessarily nice before the game, and it's something that we don't see a lot in the OHL.
No, but I guess emotion probably. I didn't see it, so I don't know. But I guess emotion's a part of the game in the playoffs.
And emotion is starting to get into this series a little more, isn't it?
Well, there's a lot of history between the 2 teams, and we played them last year in the playoffs and the Memorial Cup. So they're a good hockey team. So are we.
Vince, thanks for doing this, and good luck to the team the rest of the way. And go get them.
Thanks.
All right, we'll be back with more of OHL OHL Primetime right after these words, folks. Jeff Hunt will be joining me in studio in just a moment.
We are back at the Ottawa Civic Center. Jerrett DeFazio along with Neil Turcotte. Jerrett, there was a tale of 2 halves. It's almost like we're going to have 6 segments to this hockey game. I don't know what happened there. The first half of the first period, Ottawa looked like they're the team that played the first 2 games. Then all of a sudden, things started to change, and it looked like it was because of the spark plug, Dan Tessier.
Well, we talked about it. We saw Dan Tessier come out for a routine face-off just inside the neutral zone, and we started looking at each other. It was just 2-0 at that point. Tessier was taking, as everyone knows, the big face-offs down deep in each opposing zones, then getting off the ice. After 2-0, I don't know whether it was Tessier or Brian Kilray. Maybe they looked at each other and said, hey, it's time to go. It's 1-1 in the series. Tessier comes out, takes the routine face-off, stays on the ice, gets the big goal, and I've never seen the crowd so electric here at the Civic Center. Just everyone feeling for Dan Tessier, and that was the spark. And then Sellers gets the other, and it's 2-2.
And then near the end of that first period, again, Tessier's the spark, but this time he's on the receiving end. He gets a lot of attention from specifically Nick Policelli.
Well, with the big players out of the lineup, Kevin Malcolm, Mark Bell, and Dan Tessier hurt, something had to give, and eventually Dan Tessier had to get back to where he was playing regularly. for the 67's if they want to have success in this series. Let's face facts. And Dan Tessier stepped up the plate, and he's playing both roles. Did a great job so far.
And he wasn't the Lady Bing nominee. That's the NHL's version of the most sportsmanlike player. But he was out there doing what he does best and trying to just make something happen for his team. And as a result, after one period, it's all knotted up. Now Belleville has a little bit of momentum change. What are they going to have to do now to come back in the second period?
Well, for the Belleville Bulls, what they're going to have to do is that transition game. You saw it early in the first, how quick they get the puck from the defense to the forwards. Kornacki has been exceptional for Belleville. The trade at the deadline, picking up Kornacki for Newbury, was a big trade, and he gets the puck to the Belleville Bulls forwards, who are in motion at all times. Watch the Bulls forwards. When they're in motion, they have success.
Well, we'll take a look at the scoring summary now.
Baker scores at 3:38 from Wellwood and Jacobson. And then Nathan Robinson at 9:23 from McCormick and Lovell. Then Dan Tessier on the power play at 11:49 from Galbraith and Zion. And then Sellers on the power play at 17:38 from Zion and Jacobs.
Actually, that last one was changed. It's Miguel DeLille that actually got the second assist, not Jacobs.
And here's that play of the period. Galbraith, the give and go, like you said, Neil. Galbraith with the first shot, and then Tessier with a gritty performance, grinding one out, and that's our play of the period.
And like you said, too, earlier in that period, is that Ottawa in the first half of that period wasn't going to the front of the net. They were staying outside the box. And that time, Galbraith, as soon as he dished off, went right for the front of the net, and Tessier just followed in behind him. There's a lot of room out there when Galbraith puts his shoulders out in front.
Yeah, nice play by Galbraith getting to the front of the net, and Tessier buries it.
So Radovojevic is going to serve Corey Batten's penalty, which he took at the end of the period. A little bit of interference, or whatever you want to call it, roughing. It doesn't matter how it was assessed. The point is, Corey Batten took 2 minutes. And so Ottawa's on the power play to start this period off. Good position for Ottawa. Zoltek goes down, puts a little extra effort into the going down part, doesn't draw a penalty, no surprise. Jacobs with it now. Jacobs puts it down low to Talbot. Backhands it to Jacobs. Jacobs tries to get back to Talbot. Goes off his skate. Zoltek picks up, puts to the point to Sellers. Back down to Zoltek. Zoltek looks design. One turn! Oh, and it's just tipped wide in front of the net. Jacobs, big Jacobs, 24, planted in front of the net, got a stick on it, but just went wide. Jacobs in the corner with his back to the Belleville pressure, puts it to Zoltek behind the Belleville net. Zoltek over to Talbot. Talbot puts it back to the point, gets it back quickly. Talbot winds up, takes a shot, goes right out front. Papineau, the Belleville captain, just coolly puts it off the boards, and they get a little bit of help, but it bounces down the ice. Sellers now with it in front of his own net. 44 seconds left to go in the man advantage for Ottawa. Dumps right back in on Super. He had to be sharp. Oh, a giveaway now to Kevin Baker. Kevin Baker tries to flip one. He's trying to hit the net or put it over the net, but either way, it goes in the corner. And Tessier's in there. Tessier on the far side for Jameson, gets it back to Bell. Brendan Bell up over the red line. Oh, that was a little early. He fired it just a wee bit early. Jumps right back to the point, and Ottawa touches it first after it goes by about 9 players. Now Brendan Bell steps up to the attack. Throws it up front. There's a man in the crease. He could get stick up. Holdring. Low shot. This plays it, and it keeps up. Ottawa on the power play. 6 seconds left. 3-2 lead.
The 19-year-old, another player picked up at the trade deadline for the 67's. There's another battle we can talk about. Kornacki versus Holdridge. The battle of defensemen picked up the bolster the clubs at the deadline, and he lets a rocket go. And I don't know if Batten was feeling the effects of taking that penalty or another tip play by the Belleville forward.
And that just seems to change the sort of characteristics of the puck movement. You see, the way Campbell was set up, it looked to me like he had a clean line on it, and all of a sudden just started changing pace.
Yeah,
and
that's two goals that have done a redirection. The first one taking off, going up, and this one looks like it drops. But just the same, Luke Crawford doesn't like it, and Campbell is now in the game for the Belleville Bulls, and Batten gets the plug.
Well, it's Corey for Corey. It's a batten down the hatches. As Batten is out, Campbell is in. And I think we have a highlight package here of the first period.
You get back in.
And here it comes. There's Wellwood on the first goal. Nice drop pass. And Baker made it look real easy. Belleville then got the second goal of the game. Go up 2-0. Robinson with a nice touch. And Tessier, after seeing little ice time in the first, comes out. And he and Galbraith connect to make it 2-1. And then Zion and Sellers. And the goal. And that makes it 2. And just after that, penalty to Corey Batten. And that puts Ottawa on the power play, which put them in the advantage as they scored with 6 seconds left. And now lead 3-2 here in the second period at the Ottawa Civic Center. Neil Turcotte along with Jerrett DeFazio and Howie Mooney downstairs. And I would say that's a dejected-looking goaltender, wouldn't you, Jerrett?
Well, he definitely doesn't look happy at all. Both those goals were tipped. One took off and one went down low. But maybe Lou Crawford's just giving his team a little bit of a breather and makes the change and puts in Campbell. You don't know what a coach's mentality is behind something like this. Maybe it's just a transition trying to get his club going. So who knows? You can't really fall back on the shots to take the redirection.
The only thing you could fault him with maybe is just this little lackadaisical butterfly maneuver where he didn't turn his body to square up to the shooter and just kind of flopped it in the center of the ice. Maybe that's the only thing, but you're right, it was deflected.
Yeah, and the second point that I just thought about, he did take that penalty. That did put the 67's on the power play. It was Batten who did get the penalty.
That's a good point, too. And as a result, that's 2 errors within 2 minutes of ice time, and out he goes.
And talking about specialty teams, just to stay on this theme, the 67's are 3 for 4 on the power play. Now the score is 3-2. All 3 goals coming on the power play. So the 67's, who are 5th out of 16 teams in the postseason, with that 20.4%, are really going to jump up near the top, going 3 for 4 so far in this game, and it has been a factor.
And for the last 3 years, Ottawa's power play has been ranked as either 1, 2, or 3 in the league, so it's no surprise that that's where they should be. They should take it a walk down their legs, but Batten really helped their cause. Ottawa with possession now on the sideboards. They lose it. Belleville dumps it in. Sellers back to pick it up. He'll get a little bit of a bump. Randy Rose steps in. He leaves it for Radovojevic. Radovojevic dumps Tessier. And Sellers steps through the middle to pick off the pass. And Tatar escapes away with it. Tatar stands on the shot, gets the puck, tries to go to Tessier, and Belleville backhands it out. Now Radovojevic and Zion in a foot race. Zion wins that one. Rowe has the puck across the blue line without Radovojevic clearing the zone, and offside is called by referee Derek Hansen.
There's look at Randy Rowe, goal and 2 assists in Game 2 in Belleville. Power forward for the Bulls. 4 goals, 9 assists for 13 points. He's in 3rd place in the assist category in the playoffs with 9. Just 3 behind the leader, Sean Fisher, the overage defenseman for the Plymouth Whalers.
Well, Konopka takes that drop. He did a lot of the face-off duty when Dan Tessier was out of the lineup, showing their confidence there. Chapman looks like he's going to get himself a penalty as he dumped number 19, Jonathan Cheechoo. So now Belleville gets a chance with the man advantage.
Well, Chapman's going to go to the box, and he hasn't seen a lot of ice time tonight, Adam Chapman. So sometimes emotion plays a factor in a young player in the postseason. You know, he gets the opportunity to be on the ice, and he takes a costly penalty. And a guy like Cheechoo can make you pay any time on the power play.
And as they wait for the goaltender to skate back into his crease, Corey Campbell that is. In case you missed it, Batten is out, Campbell is in. But why would you miss it? You wouldn't have turned away. There's way too much action going on at the ice. With or without a whistle, it doesn't seem to matter. Belleville now working the outside. There's Kornakia, the guy you like to quarterback that power play. He's on there nice and early. Fed through. Looks like he'll be picked up by Radovojevic. Radovojevic has Kornakia. Davidson out giving high pressure. Gets back to Radovojevic. Radovojevic tries to pound it through Talbot. Cross skate on it. Down it goes. Talbot looks like he's going to try and put some pressure on Radovojevic and on Campbell. Talbot skates through. He's got Baker. Gives Baker a little bump. That stalls the Belleville exit just for a few seconds. And out comes Kornakia. Kornakia decides to dump it in. Nice long stride by Kevin Baker. Gets him into the corner first after the puck. Justin Papineau gets it back to the point. Kornacki, a little floater shot through tip, in front by Rowe, and he didn't miss by much. Rowe falls as he throws it around the other side for Baker. Baker puts on the brakes, under pressure from Holdridge. Rowe and Holdridge now flying into the corner. Back to Baker. Baker under pressure from Van Hoof now. He falls, and then he trips Van Hoof. Gets out only as far as the blue line. Nice open lane. In comes Kornacki. Sorry, Radovojevic. And the shot just misses to the left of Levente Zuper. Kornacki, Radovojevic. Cross ice for Baker. Baker has Papineau behind the net. The captain now comes out with it, puts it out to the point. Kornacki. Radovojevic. Little wrist shot through. Holdridge tried to put a little fist to the back of Rowe's head, and he missed. Probably a good thing with the referee standing right behind him. Kornacki again. Belleville with all kinds of traffic in front of Levente Zuper. And the puck squirts away from Kornacki. The first mistake we've seen by the Belleville player so far in this night's action. Little rub job by Holdridge on Kornacki. And that allows Ottawa to clear it all the way down the ice. And they get their forwards changed on the penalty kill. And actually Zion was able to take Van Hoof's place too. Sellers now on the far side. Sellers gives it away, goes right in front. Levente Zuper never even saw it. Cheechoo wheels, fires. He can't find Stanley in front. Jacobs now, cross ice. Penalty has expired, even strength. Kanaka over the blue line. One drop to Zoltek, had 2 men on him. Passed it around the board to Rick Bertrand, kept in by Zion. Bertrand tried to get it, backhands it away. Kanaka in the corner, Jacobson looking to body him out. Allows Jonathan Cheechoo to backhand it, but Cheechoo misses the low glass on that far side and puts it just under the ceiling and into the crowd.
Well, Lance Galbraith standing up. Paul and Shelley looks like they're going to be out soon for their 2-10. Both clubs will be happy to have their respective players back in the lineup after serving 12 minutes in penalties. And one player we haven't really talked about that's out of the lineup for the Bulls is Mark Chaplin. He's a scratch tonight. Not sure why he's a scratch. We'll have to try and find that out. But anytime an overage is a scratch in your lineup, that spells trouble, because that's a tough position to replace someone with 20-year-old with that experience in the Ontario Hockey League, especially in the playoffs.
Especially when he's tied for the team lead before the game with goals at 4. And yeah, you have to replace him somehow. But Belleville so far are playing Ottawa tight. As Ottawa has managed to crawl back into this one. And Belleville opened scoring with 2. Ottawa answered back with 3 of their own and now lead at this point, thanks in large part to the power play. 3-2 is the score. There's 13:20 left to go in the second period. Belleville on the attack, trying to throw it up front. Knocked away by Davidson. Along the boards is Robinson. Nathan Robinson, the Peon native. Back to the point. Shot through. Loose in front. It's still loose. Oh, and 2 Belleville players take a whack at it. Can't get it by Levente Zuper. Cleared out now. Malcolm Hutt, the rookie, hasn't seen much action tonight for Belleville. He's out there now. He carries it in. Little back pass to himself and takes a slash right in the midsection for his troubles. Brendan Bell roughs up his man, knocks into the ice. That allows Van Hoof to just chip it up and down the ice right on Corey Campbell. Corey Campbell makes the save. Now Belleville moves to the attack again. The speedy Kevin Baker can't beat Van Hoof, so wheels out to the far side, little skid. Oh, and he almost had it through the slot area. Lost control. Now Belleville just waiting for their men to clear, and they do. Jump in doesn't go quite far enough. And Ottawa's able to clear it. The icing coming up. Jacobson touches it up, and icing it is. We're going to bring this one all the way back to one of the sides of Levente Zuper.
Oh, Levente Zuper was super on a couple of chances in close. Time and time again this season, Levente Zuper has made saves at the right time, big saves in the right situations with his club up 3-2. He stretches out and gets one, and the second one on McCormick, he stays stretch, has the stick down, and a third just goes wide on a good job by the underage 16-year-old Brendan Bell in front, but Zuper making the first 2 big saves for the 67's.
Brendan Bell led the team as far as rookies go in points in the regular season. Belleville comes down the corner. Papineau just tries to loft it ahead. Hill gives chase. Sellers puts it up the board. Bertrand tries to step in, but Jacobs able to get a stick on it down the ice. Puts it right on the net. There's Policelli, have to take it now. He tries to backhand and then gets an elbow right in the face, and he looks right at Hoberg, and Hoberg gives him the call. And Hoberg wasn't going to make that call originally, and Policelli looked right at him and then called it.
Well, the Belleville Bulls, Joe Talbot. This is a tough loss for the 67's. Talbot is their #1 penalty killer.
And deserving as it was, you can catch the next game on OHL Primetime, the 67's and the Bulls. That'll take place this Saturday, 7:30 p.m. That's for Ottawa viewers only. Belleville viewers, you can see Sunday at 6:30. Well, there's Lance. We know that he's got a heavy shot, but now he's out there doing some PK duty. And you know what? He's going to take the draw.
Yeah, so you can see the depleted lineup. Lance Galbraith, who does not see penalty killing action primarily, in at center as well on the faceoff.
Jacob don't throw at center ice as they mount the attack. Speaking of mounting attack, Levente Super has to steer one away. Rowe with it now. On the boards. Leaves it for Papineau. Papineau under pressure from Zion. Now it's back to play Jacobson. Jacobson goes across to Cheechoo. Cheechoo can't handle it. Galbraith chips it out. And Galbraith, although little used on the PK, makes the play there. Jacobson under pressure from Jacobs. That'd be hard to say more than once. Cheechoo now cross ice. Gets it onto the sticker. Branko Radovojevic. In behind for Papineau. Back to Radovojevic. Radovojevic to Papineau, the captain, nice little move, puts it out in front. Jacobs just couldn't put the stick on it. Jacobson parked at the top of the circle, couldn't pull the trigger, goes all the way down the ice where Cheechoo has come out with it. And again, a deflection goes down the ice, and the pass is just not connecting for Belleville on that power play.
Well, the Bulls are struggling on the power play. They're currently 13th in the Ontario Hockey League in the postseason. That's 13 out of 16 teams with a 14.3% on the power play. The 67's, meanwhile, also struggling a little bit on the penalty kill in 11th spot, killing off 78.8% of their penalties. And Oshawa did some damage on their power play, having the 67's down in 11th on the penalty kill.
Turcotte out to take the draw in the offensive zone. He lost it. Out goes Belleville. Turcotte across the red line. Fires one down around the glass. Crazy bounce comes out in front. Levente Super wasn't in his net. But luckily, Ottawa player coming back clears it down the ice. 35 seconds left to go on the man advantage for Belleville. Belleville trying to draw even. Trailing by 1. 3-2 is the score. 10 minutes left to play. Let's see if it's a tale of two segments in this period. As Belleville now getting a bit of a momentum changer with this power play. Kevin Baker carries it across the line. Papineau and Holdridge joust a bit. There's Wellwood. Wellwood back to Turcotte. Turcotte takes the shot, gets to Wellwood. Wellwood throws up front. Levente Super with the save. In tight was Adam Paymon. The rookie couldn't beat Levente Super. Turcotte. Here's Celtic. He's in all alone. He shoots. Oh, what a save by Campbell. Miguel DeLille drives into Campbell, and then he gets whacked twice for his troubles. Kevin Baker appealing to Scott Hoberg for a penalty on Miguel DeLille.
Oh, Neil, this is a big save by Corey Campbell. His first shot and tested on a breakaway by the overage Matt Zoltek.
And Kevin Baker just leveled Miguel DeLille with a cross check to the head. And of course that draws a crowd. As Baker gets taken down by everybody, and looks like the person who got the worst of that was linesman Steve Corleone, as he was underneath all four guys, or all three guys. Speaking of linesman Steve Corleone, I'd like to take this opportunity to say hi to his children, Brett and Cassandra, watching back home. Daddy wanted to let you guys know that he's thinking of you.
Oh, he's working hard out here in this game.
Boy, he's earning his pay tonight.
He sure is.
Little pile driver action. He should sign up for the WWF when he's done with his linesman career.
Here's the
Look
breakaway
at the
by
break.
Zoltek. The one-on-one showdown at the old corral, and Campbell comes up victorious and makes a big save. Here's another look at it. Zoltek steals the puck, and Campbell makes a big stop and then holds onto the puck, so there's no rebound. Miguel DeLille, you saw him creeping in, so two good solid plays. First the save, and then the ability to get on the loose puck so DeLille doesn't come in for the rebound.
Well, right now they're only showing one penalty up on the board, and that would be to Kyle Wellwood at number 97. But you see Baker in there.
Look at these clubs fired up, talking to each other. No love lost here between those two teams. You can tell both clubs want to win this series.
Well, that'll happen when one team wins the regular season title in the league and the other team knocks them out of the playoffs on the way to the Memorial Cup. And then the team that got knocked out comes back and knocks them out of the Memorial Cup and goes on to win it. That adds a lot, I think, to the fire.
Exactly. It's a battle of the rings. The OHL
absolutely.
championship rings worn by the Bulls players, and the Memorial Cup rings worn by the 67 players returning from last year. And this is a war. This is a battle.
You're right, you call it, set the stage early. We'll have to see what gets called here. Crawford looking relatively calm considering the actions that have just passed. Papineau and Tessier trying to find out what's going on.
You see Corleone there, the linesman. We were talking about him. He was a linesman in the league when I was back playing for the 67's. 10 years ago now, I'm showing my age, but a fantastic linesman and well-respected.
Doesn't look a day past 9 for you.
Super.
Actually, I was talking to Steve before the game, too, and I said, come on, give me something. Give me something on Jerrett DeFazio. Anything. He goes, I don't remember him being out there much, actually. I know he was around. Sorry, I got no stories for you. I was like, I'm going to tell him that.
Exactly.
So you got no skeletons in the closet, but nothing sticks.
You got to be good to the linesman.
That's
right.
right.
Got to be good to them. It's like a trainer. You got to be good to a trainer.
Absolutely.
They're their bread and butter.
You must have worked them well.
For the sticks and sharpening, and you know who you got to be good to. You got to be loyal to those guys.
Absolutely. Well, Sellers having a talk down there. With Levente Zuper working out some stuff. This is a good chance for Ottawa to rest some of their players. As Tessier doesn't, I would have to think that the majority of the calls would have gone against Ottawa, but there's 2 penalties up on the Belleville side and nothing on Ottawa. And Tessier seems to be upset. What would he be looking for?
I'm not sure what Tessier is talking about over there. As like you say, there is a couple up, Wellwood and Baker, both with 2 each and nothing so far on the 67 side.
Here's Mike Ross. He's got the call.
2 minutes for roughing to number 23, Kevin Baker. 2 minutes for high sticking and 4 minutes for roughing. And to Ottawa's number 25, Joe Talbot, 4 minutes for roughing.
There you go. So that's how you get the 2-man advantage up on the board, is that Talbot got 4 for rough, Baker got 4 for rough and 2 for high sticking. So there's one power play, and the other power play was just Wellwood's roughing Miguel DeLille after the play had stopped.
Well, talking about making their money, not only play-by-play, but Statsman as well, doing our statistician job as we're missing our regular Jason Rady up here. Great job.
So Ottawa with a 2-man advantage. Tessier down low, takes a shot. One off Jacobson, in there with Zoltek, and that one right off the kisser, Jacobson. And he's touching up to see how he feels. I'm sure he'll stay out there. That's not going to scare him away.
Well, Dan Tessier is on for the power play. Surprisingly enough, however, he hasn't seen a lot of action in the first half of this period. We talked how he did at the last half of the first, as you see the replay, and Zoltek almost squeaks that one through on a little tip play after the shot. But Tessier now seeing this power play opportunity for the 67.
You'd also have to think with a 5-on-3, there's more ice, more less chance of getting hurt with that knee again. And they put a lot of pressure on him, and this is the way maybe to ease some of that pressure off. As right now, Jacobson applying the pressure on with Sellers with the puck down to the aforementioned Tessier. Tessier has Zoltek planted in front. Sellers to Tessier. Cross ice to Zion. Cross to Tessier. Oh, the bread and butter play with Zion and Tessier doesn't connect. That is one of their favorite plays on the power play, and Tessier just missed the yawning cage. Rowe, hard shot on Levente Zuper. He had to be sharp to make that save. Miguel Delil now with it. Miguel Delil out there with Zoltek and Tessier. Gives it to Zoltek. Tessier takes off for the front of the net. Zoltek, one hand. Tries to get around. Has to fight off a stick. Gives it to Tessier. Tessier loses control, and Sellers won't be able to keep it in. And that'll be enough for Dan Tessier and Matt Zoltek as Galbraith and Konopka come over to take their spots. Zion will step forward. Zion gets to the top of the circle. Throws it out front. Oh, and he just missed Lance Galbraith, who's coming down the far side, unchecked. 35 seconds up to 2-man advantage. Breaker out of Wayback, in on net, shoots it at Zuper, and he just misses. Oh, what a nice little hit between the two Ottawa players. Sellers and Zion collide with each other. Sorry, it wasn't Sellers, it was Delil. And Delil looks like he might have tweaked his knee as he didn't skate with that left knee all the way back. Hate to see that happen. Belleville player falls as he clears the zone. Holgren steps up over the blue line, looking for who's going to pass you. 5 seconds left. Jacobs with it. Jacobs throws it out to Zion. Zion takes the shot. It's loose in the crease. And Hobart lost sight of it. And you know what? The crowd starts their boos. But I think that's a very fortunate call for Ottawa that the play was called dead, because you had the two Belleville players coming back from the box and only one Ottawa defender in a place to get in the play.
Yeah, and with the speed of the Belleville Bulls in that transition game that we're talking about, they're gone. They're gone on a 2-on-1. We'll take a look at the passer from Ian Jacobs to Zion. And Zion, that's the type of situation the 67's want to get into on the power play. We talked about that umbrella formation where Zion is the quarterback and everyone spreads out down low. He's the handle and everyone else is that umbrella down low. And that's when they have success. You saw in that power play, Ottawa did not have success because they tried those rink-wide passes when they got down deep. Instead of getting it in, getting it back to the point, and taking a quick shot and going for the rebound. They tried the fancy plays and it didn't work on the 5-on-3.
So Ottawa with the golden opportunity to get some breathing room. Instead now they're breathing heavy because Belleville's bringing the pressure. The Bulls trying to mount back as they got definite power surge from the 5-on-3 penalty kill. Galbraith with it now. Throws across ice in front of Holgren. Holgren just can't hang on. Galbraith goes behind that and he gets roughed up by Policelli. He's not pleased about that. And Galbraith, I think, was still talking to Policelli and saw that puck go by him. Jacobs with it. Jacobs tries to make the move on Wellwood. Wellwood stays with him. Jacobs in the corner trying to look for a lane or an alley somewhere to come out. Finally he does. He's still got control. Drops the Galbraith. Winds up, shoots! Oh, and it goes off Konopka in front. Here comes Brendan Bell. Brendan Bell! He shoots! And another save by Campbell. And Cheechoo runs over the 67's player who is down on the ice. And that'll, of course, draw the crowd in.
Well, the 67's do a great job on the cycle on this last shift. Lance Galbraith, a workhorse for the 67's. As you see some action still going on, 67 player now lost his helmet down on the ice. Here's the shot by Galbraith. Comes right back to Brendan Bell. And watch the underager and the poise. We say this word a lot when we talk about Brendan Bell all year, the poise. For a 16-year-old in the playoffs, hasn't seen a lot of action. To hold on to the puck like that, to not just get it on his stick and just get rid of it, the ability to hold on to it like that, maybe if he had an extra few seconds, maybe he would have wanted to hold on to it even a little bit more with Campbell going down, but great job.
Speaking of great jobs, you can catch a great job discussing sports. Sports Zone, a special time, playoff talk and more. That'll be Monday at 6:30, Rogers Television Sports Zone. Well, again, the scrums take a long time to break up, it seems. I don't know if, does that have anything to do with the way Hobart is reffing, or is it just the intensity of the guys? Does it matter who's blowing the whistle when that sort of stuff happens?
I don't think so. We've seen a lot of different referees throughout the playoffs so far, and regardless, you're seeing that scrum after the play. We're seeing the scrum after the play in NHL hockey. You're seeing it time and time again. It just seems that's the way things are going these days. So it doesn't matter who's blowing the whistle. It's happening in all facets of hockey, all different leagues. But Campbell made a big stop on that play by Brendan Bell. He stayed with them, did a good job, and Campbell's been solid since he's been in the game.
You're absolutely right. Offsetting penalties coming. Doesn't matter, so it'll be 5-on-5 skaters. Tessier skates out, takes a long shot, puts it right on Campbell. And Campbell skates away from the net to avoid the crowd.
Well, Dan Tessier took that shot. Dan Tessier is up for the Red Tilson Award for the most outstanding player. Last year's winner was Brian Campbell of the Ottawa 67's.
Brian Campbell pretty much swept all the awards last year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
outstanding player, outstanding defenseman, most gentlemanly player.
What a season
he had it all.
Justin Papineau, the nominee for most outstanding player. Most outstanding defenseman is Meze, who's out of the lineup for Belleville. So that talks to you about how big of a loss having Meze out of the Bulls lineup, and Zion is the nominee.
And that's the team picking their own player to represent them, and they pick Meze. So you're right, that speaks volumes. People think some of these awards are just picked by some coaches somewhere. So it's not. It's the team selects their own MVP to put forth, and Meze was it. More now, cross ice, jump in on the far side. Van Hoot takes a couple of crazy bounces, makes it to the corner where Chapman winds it around. Lefebvre can't get control. In goes Sabarin. The rookie line out there now, give it away to Nathan Robinson. Nathan Robinson and the speedy Kevin Baker. Baker looked like he blew a tire out there and comes to a screeching halt. Speaking of coming to a screeching halt, Lefebvre stood up. And now Sabarin is going to have words with a Belleville player for taking a bump after the whistle is stopped. McCormick just standing his ground. Good physical play by both sides on this last shift.
Well, that's what you want from fourth lines that are on the ice, and that's who's out there. Corey Sabarin now playing forward on the fourth line for Ottawa. And McCormick for the Belleville Bulls, who's seen a lot more action in tonight's game. And there's Hutt taking a big hit on the 67's, and that was a big physical shift, just like you were calling, Neil, and both lines doing an effective job to try and switch the momentum, which is so key here with 5:29 left to go in the second period.
Well, Talbot's going to wind it up against Wellwood. Talbot tries to skate around. Wellwood just steps beside him and takes the puck away. And it's dumped into the corner by Renzi. Jacobs takes the board shot, goes back towards his own net, and he has lots of time, no pressure from Belleville. Takes a bump in front of the net, but not before giving the pass to Sellers. Zoltek dumps it in. Jacobs in to get chased. Wellwood pressures him, bounces off the back of the net, and Zoltek bounces off of Jacobson. Zoltek and Jacobson bounce again. Puck loose. Kornakia's there to pick it up. Haven't said his name in a while. Kornakia passed on the ice, and now we've got another penalty, and we've got a hooking call coming up to, I guess, Joey Talbot. He seems to be the one who's most upset.
Yeah, you can see the frustration on Joe Talbot on this call.
And I guess Konopka was giving him some grief, giving Hobart some grief, that is, from the bench.
Yeah, and Hobart's
for the box.
Yeah, exactly, and Hobart's letting Talbot know, hey, you don't want to get a 10-minute misconduct now. Here's the call. Kornakia, the hook, loses control of it, and there's the call.
So Joe Talbot will sit 2 for hooking. Belleville again to the power play. And
the guy that's, sorry Neil, the guy that's going to have to be the go-to guy here up front, Justin Papineau. Gritty performance here in the playoffs, playing with the full mass, the stitches that he sustained to the face, with getting the skate from Dan Tessier. But he's going to have to be the guy here that gets his team going, as they had a miserable last power play opportunity.
And power plays have been paramount in this game. 4 out of the 5 goals in this game was scored on the power play. Campbell coolly plays it back. Galbraith gets away with one as he jumps. Radovojevic now. Galbraith again on killing penalties. He steps up. He forces Radovojevic to make a move at the blue line, and that sent Belleville offside, or potential offside. They had to clear the zone, then they dump it in. Abete Zuper fires it off the glass. DeLille was there, but he can't control it. Zion now fighting with it. Papineau and Rowe come out with it. Wellwood's on the ice with them as well. Jacobson on the point. Gets to Papineau. Jacobson just has a squirt by him, but Radovojevic has to go get it. Galbraith picks it up, dumps it in the corner, and Ottawa will make a wholesale change on the penalty killers while Belleville changes 2 out of their 5 attackers. Half the power play is gone. There is 1 minute left. There's only 3:50 left to go in the second period. Radovojevic, far side for Stanley. Stanley crosses the line. Back pass right in the slot, and falling was Adam Pema, the rookie. And speaking of falling, let's fall about 1,000 feet and go downstairs to Howie Mooney. Howie?
All right, thanks, Neil. Coming up, we'll have a clip about John Goodwin and other things that are going on in the OHL. We'll also have an interview with Jeff Hunt, and we'll have the audio for you this time. Guys?
Thanks, Howie. So the face-off to the right of Levente Zuper. 48 seconds left to go in the man advantage. Joe Talbot taking a hooking penalty. And of all the things we've seen, the hooking penalty was pretty easy for Obers to call. A lot of stuff going on behind the play. That was right in front of him. And Ottawa's taking a lot of penalties. Well, really no more than Belleville. They're both sitting around 11 penalties each right now. Holdridge on the ice. Cheechoo comes out with the puck. Tessier is out there for the draw. Davison can't get to it. Holdridge pass across Renzi, doesn't make it. And Tessier wheels and deals and sends it down the ice, and he wants to get off for a change. Then Konopka will come out and take his spot. So again, Tessier seeing limited service. Van Hoot gets it as far as the red line, has a second shot at it. Cheechoo now with it at the Belleville blue line. He rounds, starts heading towards Levente Zuper, puts on the brakes, throws it at the net. Levente Zuper misplayed it. It's a good thing though it wasn't on net. Jonathan Cheechoo with it now. Cheechoo has Bertrand. They set up in the umbrella as well. Turcotte is out there. Bertrand down low, wheels it around. There's Stanley. Stanley gets it off to Renzi, and the power play is over. Even strength here at the Ottawa Civic Center. Ottawa with a 3-2 lead in this game 3. A pivotal. Anyways, whatever I was trying to say. Kornacki now at the point. He wheels, throws it towards the front of the net. Stanley can't get enough on to make it count. Bounce off the board, Cheechoo. Talbot working hard to get that loose puck. Talbot trying to work Cheechoo off it. Cheechoo still with full control. Then Konopka now comes in, tries to muscle him off. And that works. But Talbot only got to the blue line. Screenshot. Levente Zuper never saw it, but that's okay. It's cleared down the ice by Joey Talbot. That'll be icing as Kornacki touches it up and brings it all the way back. How big is Game 3, Jerrett?
Game 3 is definitely a big game. 1-1, no matter what the score. If it's 2-0 for one club, to get back in at 2-1 or go up 3-0, it's a pivotal game, just like you were saying. Both clubs know the importance of this game. Sometimes it has more of an importance if you play that series where it's 2-2 than 1-1. This series is going back and forth, one game, a flip-flop. So maybe it isn't ranked as high as a pivotal game from the Belleville Bulls standpoint. They say we come into Ottawa, we give it our best performance, but hey, if we go down 2-1, we're going right back to hometown Belleville.
That's true, right down the 416. That's the call it the veterans battle, I guess. They battled all their lives, and now we got another one going here at the Ottawa Civic Center. Goes down in Belleville as Corey Campbell decides to slow things down and just put the big mid over that puck. Lefebvre standing, blocking some light.
Well, that last shift on the power play, Chris Stanley and Kevin Holdridge in front of the net had a huge battle. Both players battling it hard in the trenches, and they had both solid shifts. So we see the shots on goal. The 67's leading in the shot clock for the first time in this series. That's the first time Ottawa has been leading 21-16.
And in the first 2 games, I think Belleville outshot Ottawa something like 43-20 in game 1. And then in game 2, they outshot 27-25. So a little closer in game 2, but game 1, Levente Zuper was the man who stole the show. Belleville moves the attack. Rose dumps it into the far side. Back again to Sellers. Sellers rips it off the boards hard. Doesn't get out past the blue line though. Sellers fighting with Rowe in the corner. In came Radovojevic. Get to the line only briefly as Galbraith fell after Hutt fell. That allowed Policelli to get it. Policelli takes a light bounce from Galbraith. Little give and go. Justin Papino made the move, and he just couldn't bear it by Levente Zuper. Policelli bounces it off the boards all the way down the ice. It's going to go directly at Levente Zuper. Van Hoop puts it up to Miguel DeLille. Miguel DeLille steps up over the red line, dumps it in. That'll allow Ottawa to change. Last minute of play in the second period. Policelli off the boards. It's escorted out by Chris Stanley. That's Holdridge now. Just puts it back the other way. Hutt intercepts that, clearing attempt. And Zoltek tripped over the linesman on the far side. And again, Belleville chips it into their own bench.
Oh, what a scoring opportunity by the Ottawa native, Justin Papineau, the veteran and captain and leader for the Belleville Bulls, given a gritty performance here in the playoffs with the facial injury. And he goes around Levente Zuper with all of his 40 goals from this season.
And do you think that mask had any bearing on this move?
Well, it could have a factor on the move, looking down at the puck.
Might be a little distorted, maybe.
It could be a little bit distorted, but it does look like maybe he just runs out of enough room at the last second. You see him taking off the mask there,
and
getting a breather.
To the trainer about it, maybe like clean that, please. The trainers are your bread and butter, so you gotta be nice to them. Belleville looking to be mean to Ottawa. Ottawa doing their best just to keep it out and trying to escape this period with a 1-goal lead. They started it on the power play, scored on the power play with 6 seconds left, and there's been no scoring since. It's been a hard physical affair. There's 10 seconds left. It's Jacobs. Goes down, touches it, waves off the icing. Good move to protect the puck. And that'll let it off. Oh, and Holdridge took a huge run at Chris Stanley. And I don't think there's any penalties, but Holdridge just had a line of sight. And it was marked 13, and he just leveled him into the glass.
Well, I just finished talking about that battle that they had in front of the net on the power play, Stanley and Holdridge. And here it is. Boom. Holdridge with the big hit, and Stanley, the assistant captain, holds his ground and stays up there. A nice play by Ian Jacobs in the final 10 seconds to race down and win the battle, so it wasn't an icing call, and Belleville would have that face-off with about 5 seconds to go. Good solid period by both clubs, and Holdridge gets the goal in the difference so far.
You saw Stanley working the referee, hoping to get some calls in his favor into the third. We'll have to find out if it works for him. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back on OHL Primetime right after this.
(3-2) the score. There you see it after 40 minutes. And if you watch the first 10 minutes of this game, who would have thought that the 67's might be able to take the lead in this game? Certainly I didn't think they would. As I said before this game, or before this period, first 10 minutes of the game, 2-0 Belleville, now 3-2 Ottawa, and we're joined now in studio by Zach Martin, the host of OHL This Week. And Zach, your thoughts, first of all, on this game?
Tale of two different teams. At the start of this game, it looked like Belleville was going to run away with the game, especially considering the shots. 5-0, just over 5 minutes into the game, but 67's all of a sudden just woke up, turned this thing around. Power play is the key for them lately, it seems, and 67's definitely turned it around. The refereeing a bit questionable in the game, but
I'm not saying anything.
67's are taking advantage of the power play opportunities and are playing a great game so far.
If the 67's had been able to score on that two-man advantage, would this thing be over?
Well, that was definitely a good turning point for Belleville to get back into this game, because being able to kill a two-man penalty, having the 67's having scored 2 power play goals already, was good for them. But the 67's have been just holding on to the momentum so far in this game since that first 5 minutes of the first period, and Belleville has to turn around and come back with a good effort.
Zach, a number of things happened in the OHL this week, and this is one of them.
Well, I'd given a lot of thought about what I was going to do next year, and I came to the decision that I thought it was time to move on. I had 3 great years in Oshawa, but at the same time, it takes a lot of time up and working at a job as well at Hydro, and just the commitments to the family. I thought it was time to maybe step back, especially with the Oshawa position. And, you know, John Humphreys has been very supportive from day one. I talked to Joe Sorella and Curtis Hodgins early in the week. I told them Monday about my decision and met with John on Tuesday. So Yeah, I think Oshawa's looking to maybe they need a full-time guy there, a guy that can give all day and then all night, and some especially due to coach's GM role, it's such a vital role. And this year is going to be an important year for the team, and I just didn't think I could give that commitment at this time. Really, there's going to be a million rumors going around out there, but they don't concern me, so I kind of just took care of my side of things and left it at that. Oh, it's been great. I mean, it goes back 6 years, 3 as an assistant, 3 as a head coach, and there's so many memorable moments. Going down to the rink and realizing I wasn't a coach for the Oshawa Generals, be it a head coach or assistant, was a tough decision because you meet so many great people, and it's a real honor to be involved with the Oshawa General organization, especially living in the Durham region. It's a thrill to be part of it, so I'm going to miss that part of it. But the Game 7 against Barrie was one of the highlights. My first year as a head coach, we had a terrible start, but we bounced back to a team that was really could play with anybody, and we lost 7 games to a great Kingston team. So there's been many more highs and lows over the last 3 years. Well, we're going to take a couple days off, and the phone's been ringing a lot today, talking to different people, and you never say never in this business. So if the right opportunity came up in this league or a league above, I'd certainly look at it and entertain it, but it would have to be a really good offer. And as of now, right now, I'm satisfied just being maybe a fan of the Oshawa Generals.
Zach, John Goodwin resigning as coach of the Oshawa Generals, saying that they need somebody that can be there full time.
Well, the OHL is an interesting league because some coaches actually have other things they're doing. A lot of them have families. Like you look at Gary Agnew and Guelph, the guys, the coach and the GM, like Kilray here in Ottawa, and they have their hands full basically the whole year because when they're not, if there's a GM, if they're a coach that likes to be involved with the team, they've got to look prepared for the draft and things like that. So it's really a year-round job, and it's tough to see John Goodwin go because really he made the most out of that team with what he got. They had a lot of injury problems coming down the stretch, and the fact that they played a tough team in this Ottawa 67's in the first round and looked good against them is kudos to him.
It was a 5-game series, but it could have been a lot longer, especially given the fact that 4 of those games were decided by a single goal.
Yeah, especially, I liken this to the way that Brian Sutter was outed in Calgary because Calgary was just depleted by injuries the whole year, and that's basically just a move to try and sell tickets to get someone fresh and new in there, and Ted Nolan they've talked about. But back to the OHL with John Goodwin, really he did what he could with that team. I mean, Derek Dolson went down and they weren't sure how Achetti was going to play, and Gover was out for some time, so considering they made the playoffs, it was great for him.
Key injuries to key people, and it hurt them.
Yeah, for sure.
Another guy that left his coaching position this week, or by his choice or by their choice, Paul Gillis.
Yeah, some mixed reports about that one, but Paul Gillis leaving the Guelph Storm after taking his team from really nowhere until the playoffs. They were fighting for a playoff position. Did play well in the playoffs, but Guelph just woke up. It was Plymouth that just woke up and took that series. But Manny Malhotra coming back did play a key role for them, playing well, but I guess they just wanted to change in the new arena because next year they're going to be a team to watch with the new arena. So.
Perhaps the biggest surprise right now of this playoff season has to be the Erie Otters. So right now up 2-1 in their series.
Erie, I thought, was probably, in all honesty, the worst team that was in the playoffs. Brampton, I mean, they are their first year in the playoffs, the jitters, trying to get that out. A lot of players haven't seen much playoff action, but really, Erie just woke up. The Sioux Greyhounds are one of my favorites in the West, and 2 overtime victories. They're on an emotional high right now.
I think we were asked to predict these series by Jerrett DeFazio before the playoffs started, or before this round started anyway. I said to Jerrett, I'm undecided about this one, and you said there's no way Sioux's going to win this one in 4.
Yeah.
And not that I'm any kind of a guru or anything like that, but I was undecided about it. I didn't really know enough about the two teams to make any kind of a prediction, but Erie is surprising everybody.
Yeah, the big difference there is the fact that the Sioux Greyhounds are playing without their top goalie, Jason Flick, so there's some questionable goaltending going on right there. They are getting some good goaltending from their backup, but Jason Flick was their man for the regular season.
Zach, thanks for doing this, and we will talk to you throughout the rest of the playoffs as well.
Thanks.
All right, we'll be back with more of OHL Primetime, folks. Jeff Hunt will be in studio right after this. Welcome back to OHL Primetime. We're joined now in studio by the owner and president of the Ottawa 67's, Jeff Hunt. Jeff, how are you doing?
Great. How are you, Howie?
I'm doing very well. I guess, first of all, I should say that you were in Belleville the other night, and I take it was a long bus ride home.
Yeah, it was. It was a bit of a frustrating night for us. Obviously, it was disappointing. you can tolerate a loss, but when you don't feel like you played as well as you could, frankly, as well as we've seen our team play lately, it's a little disappointing, and I think every guy on the bus realized that. I don't think anyone out there thought that they played extremely well, and so I think we got what we deserved in Belleville, and that's what happens when you let up with these guys.
Obviously, you're making plans for the next game and the next game after that, and the next series after that. Monday night, it's something special coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Monday night's obviously a very interesting night for us in that I can't remember since I've owned the team, and that hasn't been that long, but where we've had to play a Monday night game where we cater so much to families and kids. We were expecting it to be a pretty off night, even if it is a playoff game. And add to that the fact that the Sens and the Leafs, a very high-profile series happening here in Ottawa, will be playing that night, and of course a lot of people watching it on TV. We knew that we were in for a tough night. We knew we'd have a lot of empty seats, so we decided to turn it into a positive. We've gotten such great support all season from the kids and families in the community. We thought we would reward the kids by allowing them a free ticket, 12 and under, to the game, and hopefully that'll help to create some atmosphere. One thing I've found with kids is one kid in the building is like 3 adults. They make as much noise, and so it'll, if nothing else, give us a little extra atmosphere for Monday night's game, and hopefully give our guys a lift, and in the meantime, do something good for the kids who have been terrific for us all year.
It's so important right now to get atmosphere in the arena, and a series like this is as close as these two teams have been all season long, and as much of a rivalry as these two teams have. You want to give your team as much edge as you can.
Well, that's right. Now, of course, there's an argument to be made that sometimes the atmosphere helps the other team too, but I think when the fans are cheering for the hometown team grows an extra inch. They say it's like the 7th player or what have you, and like I say, especially with the kids where they're so vocal and so noisy, they add a special dynamic to the crowd, and I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully the kids in the community are, and we'll see lots of smiling faces out on Monday night, and hopefully they'll be smiling when they leave too.
I understand the league's insistence that the series be over by a certain date, but if there's a Game 7, it'll be held on the Thursday night. There was no way that you could get it moved to the Friday night?
No, they have to. What they try and do is have each series end in time for the next series to begin on a weekend, because like every team in the OHL, and we're no different, weekend games are your bread and butter,
sure.
And in our case it's Friday night games. So at least give us an opportunity to open on a Friday night to say we were to advance. For other teams it's this Saturday, and even teams like Oshawa, Sunday's their big night.
Yeah.
So it gives teams to open a series on a good night, and that's important for attendance.
I noticed you've got the playoff beard going. What does Mrs. Hunt say about it?
She's all right with it. I've had it before many years ago, so she doesn't mind, and she understands I'm trying to do my little part in supporting the team.
There you go. Jeff, thanks for doing this, and good luck the rest of the way.
My pleasure. Thanks, Howie.
All right, we'll be back with more of OHL Primetime, folks, right after these words. Don't go away.
Welcome back to the Ottawa Civic Center. I'm Neil Turcotte along with Jerrett DeFazio. Jerrett, the second period was definitely a lot different than the first. We didn't have the segments. It was broken down right into shifts.
Yeah, exactly right. The first period was a tale of two halves. We talked about the first half Belleville, the second half the 67's. Here it was a coast-to-coast affair from one end to the other for one team, and then a transition game. The 67's would come right back with their flurry of chances, and then Belleville right back with their flurry. So end-to-end action.
And speaking of action, there was a lot of action in and out of the penalty box. Both teams up around 12 penalties each now, and power play is definitely a huge factor in this game.
Power play is everything in this game so far. The 67's are up 3-2, all 3 goals on the power play. So their special teams doing a great job, and Belleville also one of their 2 goals is on the power play. So both teams have been moving the puck around well. You saw in the late half of the 67's on the 5-on-3, really didn't have a good effective power play, and Belleville, their last 2 weren't effective, so maybe it's starting to slip the other way.
The penalty killing units look like they're taking over now from the power play units. That'll make for a low-scoring game for sure.
Exactly. Well, that's what's happened in this game, back and forth, so it's only right that the penalty kill now would take over.
Well, that would be make it a little shorter for the scoring summary, and we have it for you right now.
Well, Holdridge on the power play, like we say, at 154 from Randy Davidson and Brendan Bell. That will lead us into our play of the period, and it's just that. Bell throws it out in front. It tips off Davidson's stick, and Holdridge tees one up. It looks like it catches one of the Belleville Bulls' penalty killers, the forward. It takes a little bit of a dive and goes in the net, and that was the play of the period. I'd like to just take this opportunity right now to say hi and a hello to Janet Eastman, former host of 67's broadcast for Rogers. So Janet, hi, how are you? And get ready for a big third period.
Well, we start off the way the second period ended, and that's with Belleville firing it up into the crowd on their side. I don't recall actually ever seeing where one team launched it up into the crowd so often over another.
Yeah, good point. There's a lot of stoppage of play throughout the end-to-end action, and every now and then we get a flurry of souvenirs for the faithful here.
That's a good way to word it. Well, this potential souvenir has been shot into the Ottawa end. Ottawa leads on shots, 21-17. That a bit of a surprise given the first 2 games. Ottawa leads on the scoreboard, 3 games to 2.
Remember,
that, not much of a surprise the way this game has gone. The series is tied, 1-1. That, not much of a surprise given the history of these 2 teams. And you'll see the sort of play that we were talking about in that second period.
Well, here's the goal. Brendan Bell Davidson tips it out, and then Holdridge lets go a big shot to take the lead for the 67's. Here's Zoltek stealing the puck on Kornak. He comes in. Campbell, first shot since replacing Batten, makes the big save and holds on to the rebound. Another play, Tessier misses by inches on the short side. Look at this play by Papineau, around in front, and Zuper makes a save, and Papineau just runs out of room. Great highlights from the second.
Well, Ottawa now moving to the attack. Zoltek running out of room as the ice seems to shorten up, and he tries to go to the net. And Bertrand would not let him go by at all, and Zoltek cleverly just goes into the framework of the net. Speaking of frameworks, both teams have frameworks they need to follow, and we'll get an update from you, Jerrett.
Well, we update our keys to victory that we had at the start. Zuper, it had to be Super, was one of them. Timely saves throughout this game. The mental mistakes for the 67's, they've really focused in on that. You saw a lot in Belleville. So far has been so good for Ottawa. Tighten up the defense. Well, 17 shots from a high offense Belleville Bulls team after 2 periods is solid defense from Ottawa.
You know, I didn't see a player on the roster named So. He said he was really good. I haven't really noticed him out there.
Exactly. So far, so good. Sounds like a Bryan Adams album.
Unfortunately, it wouldn't be Canadian content, so we don't need to discuss it. Kornak, you know, with the puck behind his own net. Puts on the burst of speed, almost loses the puck, takes a nice little slash on his way out, but he still has the puck. Shoots it in, cross ice, into the near corner. Radovojevic behind the net. Out quick, Papineau, he can't get a stick on it. Radovojevic now. Takes another slash from Tessier. Rowe behind the net, pressure from Zion. The 2 of them get themselves wrapped up in a little bear hug. Radovojevic now takes the bump from Zion. He leaves it from Rowe. Tessier on Rowe. Rowe steps away from Tessier, looks to the front of the net, gets picked off by Zion, but Papineau was there to take the puck. Good cycling by Belleville. Now back to Kornakia. Kornakia takes a shot, and that screen shot! Super can't see it, and it's pulled out of harm's way by Dan Tessier. Key man with some key plays. Kanofka. Out at center ice now for Dan Tessier. As DeLille runs into his man along the blue line. Galbraith avoids the check. Puck bouncer, Kanofka can't get to it. Kornakia goes into the corner. Kanofka will catch up with him there. Back to the point, catch up by Holder. Holder! Oh, the deflection attempt by DeLille. DeLille didn't get anything on it. Sands has trouble getting it up the boards on the side, so now coming on this side. Cheechoo will try with a pass to the middle. Gets to Sands. Sands took a high stick in the face, and I think Ottawa's going to get called for it. High sticking is motioned by the referee, Scott Hoberg. And that means the dreaded power play penalty killing has been key for Belleville. They killed the 5-on-3. What else has been key?
Well, for the Bulls, keys to victory, Kornacki was solid in game 1, and he's been a solid again today for Belleville. The transition game's been fantastic for Belleville, capitalizing on one of the chances, turning it around. Who steps up for Meze? Well, so far, he has surely missed on the penalty kill, because you know Meze would have been there, and that could be the difference so far early on with the 3 power play goals and having Meze out of the lineup.
Cheechoo wins it away from Talbot. Cheechoo up towards center ice. Wellwood's in there with him, so is Baker. They can't control it. Now off to the side, back to the point for Cheechoo. Cheechoo, Jacobson, into traffic. Wellwood couldn't deflect it. Wellwood getting some pressure from Brendan Bell. Brendan Bell has it in his skates, but he doesn't know it's there. Galbraith trying to get up high on Cheechoo. Over to Jacobson. Belleville with good puck movement here early in this third period. But the power play unable to get a quality shot on net. 1:20 left to go to man advantage for Belleville. Baker dumps it on the backhand. Van Hoot into the corner to pick it up, and Van Hoot puts it up high on the glass. Galbraith tries to get it out. He was thinking of taking off with it until he got hooked up, I think by Cheechoo. Brendan Bell fires it hard off the glass. That takes a weird bounce. And that allows Rick Bertrand to pick it up high in his own slot. Over the side in Justin Papineau wearing that full face protection, as we mentioned, due to the injury in game 1. Had a golden scoring opportunity also earlier. Wasn't able to capitalize. Now out there on the power play. Radovojevic. Back to Bertrand, back to Radovojevic. Radovojevic, back to Bertrand. Bertrand sitting high on the point, takes a shot, misses the net. Nobody there to deflect it. Zuper steered it away from Sellers. I don't think he realized Sellers was going to get it. Now Radovojevic has it again. Radovojevic back to Bertrand. One-timer. That one's deflected, but this time wide of the net. There's Papineau in the corner. Takes up the side, puts it down low to Rowe. Rowe steps up, and on a tight angle, Zuper way out to challenge. Policelli to Bertrand. Bertrand tries a little soft cross ice. Davidson picks it up, and back comes Ottawa. 2-0, short-handed. 3 seconds left in the event, and the puck just bounces off the side. And Sellers, who jumped up in the play, wasn't able to capitalize. One of the key things you said Sellers had to do.
Well, talk about someone stepping up for Meze right there. Policelli does a good job sliding on a 2-on-1 to make that pass have to be in the air. Good job by Policelli on the Belleville Bulls defenseman.
Came off, bounces one off the board, gets to McCormick. McCormick goes cross site to the dangerous Nathan Robinson. Oh, trying to make the nice move, but equal to the tackle was Russ Moyer. And two-line pass being called, but Russ Moyer, great defensive play on the very tricky Nathan Robinson.
Well, you asked that from your clubs in the third period. Good solid defense. You saw Policelli at one end, and then Moyer, the 6th-round draft choice rookie, who has been fantastic all year long. And pound for pound, we're calling him one of the hardest hitters here in the OHL. Big play. Here's Konopka. Here's the move by Policelli. Gets down and forces Konopka to have to raise that puck. And right away, Campbell holds on to it as he sees Sellers coming to the back door to tip that one home.
And Sellers would have been on the back end as that pass was a little late. And as you said, Policelli forced that play to develop the way it did with that great slide, which took away a lot of the options for Konopka. Brendan Bell steps up to the attack. Tries to shoot it at the net, but I think it went off a hut stick and knocked up into the crowd. And as you mentioned, yet another souvenir for the people in attendance here at the Ottawa Civic Center. And let you know about our next game coming up between these two gladiators. The 67's and the Bulls will face off this Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Ottawa viewers only. Belleville, you'll get to see it Sunday at 6:30. That, of course, is on OHL Primetime. Brendan Bell setting up on the point. Talbot in to take the draw against Renzi. Gets poked back to Holdren. Holdren over to Bell. Bell takes the shot, goes off a leg into the corner. Jacobs and Jacobson again are going to be fighting for it. I wish they'd separate those two. Renzi gets up to Stanley. Stanley just launches it down the ice. And potential icing coming out. Holders has to hurry. Holders touches it up under pressure from Kevin Baker. And it just didn't look like Kevin Baker was putting that all effort in. He was conceding the icing unless Holders changed his mind and made a different play.
Well, Kevin Baker's a fast forward. for the Belleville Bulls, trying to get down deep on that play.
And if you want to go deep and deep into the playoffs, this is the place you want to get your information. Sports Zone, playoff talk, and more. Monday, 6:30 p.m. Special time, special day, Rogers Television Sports Zone. Little jostling out the draw. Killer wants Zoltek to come all over to the near side. Now they're going to change the defensive alignment. And now Holberg's saying, okay, that's enough. No more movement. But I think Ryan Killer's going to get the positioning he wanted anyways. So Talbot to take the draw. He goes off against Chris Stanley. Ottawa comes up with the puck. It's shot in for the point, deflected towards the net. And Campbell had to be sharp to make that save. Now Belleville on the attack. Stanley dumps it in on Zuper. Zuper decides just to lift it up and grab it and stop things. And that means Zuper will have a face-off in his zone. And with over 5 minutes gone in this third period, we haven't seen a lot of stoppages down on the Ottawa end.
Well, I was just going to make that point that with both sides, you really see that it hasn't been down deep in front of Levente Zuper, and the Bulls are going to want to get traffic on Levente. He hasn't really been tested. We looked at the shot clock at the end of the period. It's 22-20 in favor of the 67's, and that's the least amount of shots at this point in a game that we've seen from the Belleville Bulls. So they're going to have to get some shots if they want to have success here in the third.
Are the Belleville Bulls running out of gas, or do they miss Mezzi that much, or is it a combination of both?
Well, Mezzi's a big factor, and we see it on the penalty kill, giving up 3 goals. Chaplin as well, an overager that we talked about, is another big loss for them in tonight's game.
Ottawa with possession. Davison just bounces it off the boards, gets it to Tete. Gets ridden out hard into the glass. And look at Chapman, who just pulled over his player. Policelli from the point, takes the shot, deflects off the leg, goes into the corner. Adam Payma in there to give chase for Belleville. Payma just protects the puck. McCormick in there with him as well. Pressuring with Randy Davidson. Randy Davidson finally got some help from Brendan Bell, I believe. Oh, sorry, that was Russ Moyer who came over to help out. Davidson, a little stick work. Chessier outside the blue line, winds up, takes the shot, goes off a stick, goes to the far side, Policelli. Tatarn bounces off his man. Nathan Robinson dump pass back to Bertrand. Bertrand steps around Galbraith and then dumps it in at the blue line. And Bertrand will skate off for changes. That means Galbraith will be able to bang it up off the boards and out, no problem. But now Kornakia's got it. Kornakia. Oh, has a bit of pressure from Konopka. It goes hard into his own boards. Now he gets up. Seems like he's all right. Cheechoo can't hang on to that pass. Broken stick. Sellers. This is dangerous for Ottawa. But luckily the bounce comes right up to Konopka. Now back comes Ottawa. Shot high over the net. Gets it at the point. By Konopka, DeLille's in there. Galbraith's got it now. Galbraith trying to protect the puck under pressure from Jacobson. Gets it down to the court for DeLille. DeLille's ridden off by Wellwood. Konopka can't get to it. Neither can Karakia. Goes across for Sands. Josh Sands stops behind his net. Decides to go to the same side he came in at. The crowd's starting to chant Campbell, try and get him off his game. Maybe they're just wishing that Brian Campbell was back to carry the puck for Ottawa out of the defensive zone. Who knows? Belleville with possession in neutral ice area. Sands just dumps it in as he knows they need to make changes. Ottawa. Zoltek moves it up through the middle. Speedy Joe Talbot. Joe Talbot in on tight, and he can't get the shot off. Jacobs out with it. Gets roughed up a little. Homer says, that's okay. Keep playing, boys. Puck bounced up off the glass. Now throws the middle for Radovojevic. Radovojevic stepping to the attack. Justin Papano. He's written out by Zion. Stanley throws behind that. Radovojevic down low for Rowe. But Jacobs comes over that on the board. He goes cross ice for Zoltek. Jacobs is taken down right in front of Hobart. No call. Talbot. Back to the point for Sellers. Sellers just lost one. And then takes a vicious slash in the back of the heel for Radovojevic and has to leave immediately for the bench. Hobart didn't see that one at all. Fans wanted too many men on the ice again for Belleville. As Policelli returned to the play, now he goes off in favor of Karnakia. Ottawa coughs it up. Nothing happens. As Davidson is allowed to move it ahead to Turn. Knocks his man down. Hobart thinks that's okay too. Davidson goes behind the net. Tries to go at Jacobson. Gets by Jacobson, but Rowe pokes it away. Jacobson clears up the boards, but not out. Brendan Bell keeps it in. Picked up there by Mike Renzi. He has Rowe with him, and Radovojevic. It's picked up by Holdridge. Holdridge steps to the attack, and that'll be offside as Tessier misread the speed of Holdridge in control and was one step across on a great pick by Holdridge.
Holdridge has really stepped up his game. He is playing fantastic tonight for the 67's. The 19-year-old third-round draft choice of the Carolina Hurricanes coming over as the big trade at the deadline to solidify the defense for the 67's and for the playoff run. He's been fantastic tonight, physically, offensively, defensively for the 67's, and you can see that trade really paying dividends now against the quick offense Belleville Bulls having Holdridge in the lineup.
Carnacki with it, off the draw, one by Renzi. It's tipped to the corner. Carnacki will chase down his own jumper. Gets there first, Van Hoop tries to body him but misses. That's Jacobs on the far side. Jacobs moves it away from Baker. Skips over the stick of Jacobson at the point. Jacobson and Carnacki decide who's going to get it. All is for sure now is that Ottawa's picked it off in the Belleville zone. Jacobs has it. Has Zoltik in front. Zoltik the time! And Zoltik stopped it. Tried to tee it up and then shoot. You said earlier, Jerrett, that one-timer is usually more effective. Baker comebacks the other way for Belleville. Renzi into the corner. Van Hoop works him off the puck. Van Hoop trying to freeze it in the corner. Talbot coming in to help. Renzi knocks it out. So does Stanley. Stanley for Belleville. On the board. Goes out front. Quick shot. And a quick hit on Baker as he's leveled by Jacobs. And then it's fired down the ice. We have an icing coming up. I guess the Ottawa 67's relieving some pressure. One of the few spurts of even strength pressure applied by the Belleville Bulls, who've been very quiet at even strength in this game so far.
Well, the last 10 minutes or the first half of the third period really being played in the right at center ice area between the two blue lines. No one really gaining tempo or control, and that means good solid defense by both clubs, really not allowing any pressure. But down low, a good cycle and work by Renzi and Stanley. Here it is. They win the battle. They get the puck to Baker, and watch the quick shot from Baker. He's got a quick release, and he lets that one go about 15, 20 feet out. It just misses the short side.
And that was the difference between Zoltek's opportunity and Baker's. You see the shot there. Zoltek probably could have got his shot away if he hadn't tried to one-time it.
Exactly, and you see Baker do that.
He made it happen. And now Hort's getting a little bit of talk, and was it chin strap, legal change? But Tamal has to go, and he's got a small cut maybe?
Not sure what the call is.
Maybe has some blood on his face, though, because I don't believe you're allowed to play if you have an open cut or a... I mean, it could be very tiny.
Not sure what the call is, but the referee saw it right away, came on, nothing too major, back on the ice, big face-off.
And of course, big face-off means the little big man steps up to win the draw. And he pulls it all the way across to the far corner, where Radovojevic, good save, Robinson's in there. That was McCormick. As the fourth lines are out there battling, and Lefebvre trying to get under the skin of McCormick. And I think he might have been successful. And now Hutt wants to have a chat with him.
Well, they're going to have the fourth line wingers on, but Dan Tessier and Nathan Robinson are two players taking the face-offs for both clubs. Brian Kilroy going to make a change now and have Davidson and Tataryn on with Tessier. They're going to move Robinson now into the wing, and McCormick, who has been very solid tonight for the Belleville Bulls, the rookie, second-round draft choice, 37th overall, right winger. They have him listed as a right winger. Is going to move in for the face-off.
And you saw Tessier directing traffic there. He wanted Tatar to go against Nathan Robinson. Wise choice. Get some cover and pressure up on Hutt. Nathan Robinson has the puck, but he took his eye off it and skipped away from him right at that moment. And Holdridge now puts it behind his own net for Bell. Bell pops up along the glass, takes a big hit, gets right back up, picks up the puck, and skates out of his own zone with it. And Bell rounding away. Tessier's in the middle. I don't think he saw Tessier. And it's fired back in by Belleville. Nathan Robinson goes to the ice. And Hobart is quite content to let things ride. Tessier racing in behind the net. Campbell has to come up to play it. Waves off the icing. Davidson forces McCormick to put the puck off his skates and back in. And now Paymont will skate away with it. Number 25, Paymont, across the line, puts on a break, shoots it at the net. No rebound there for McCormick. When Jody McCormick went to the net, and looks like Kevin Holdridge is taking a bit of an exception to the extra attention at the goaltender.
Well, Kevin Holdridge doing the job in front of the net, and there's a look at McCormick and the confidence Luke Crawford has in his rookies. Down 3-2 with 8:44 to go. Here's another one, Adam Paymont, 4th round draft choice, 78th overall, and McCormick and Josh Sands was on just a shift before. So you talk about all these players, Paymont, Sands, Wellwood, and for the 67's to Taryn, Moyer, young players in the lineup, Brendan Bell. The rivalry will continue for many years to come with these, not only just fringe, but we're not talking fringe hockey players, we're talking cornerstone hockey players, so it's just passed on.
Future cornerstone.
Exactly, passed on from age group to age group, and these guys will be the future.
You know, one thing I want to say is Luke Crawford is that year after year, after being with this organization and watching games for 4 years now, Luke Crawford always plays his rookies. It doesn't matter if they've got 1 game or 10 games, they always get a chance to play even in the big game. And you're seeing that pays off in the playoffs where the rookies have some confidence and some playing time.
Yeah, you saw Robinson's line last year really did a job playing the 4 lines against the 67's in the power play. So he's going to go with that success formula and try it again this year.
And it's worked so far to get them to this point, but now they have to get a goal to at least draw even somewhere in the last 8 minutes and 20 seconds here in this third period as the puck pops up and out of play. Belleville, as you mentioned a little before, going down 2-1 is not as big a deal because of the alternating homestand format that they're using here in this round against Belleville, being only, what, an hour and a half away down the 416?
Exactly. With the 1-1-1, you know, they know they're going back to Belleville for another one. So maybe it's not as high a priority of obviously every game is. It's essential, but you never know what the mentality is there. They know it's not a situation where they play 2 in Ottawa and then 2 back in Belleville, where game 3 would be a big pivotal game, your first home game back.
I guess the only time in this series then to panic is when the other team has 3 wins and you don't.
Exactly. And you saw Lance Galbraith going off quickly there. He blocked the shot, did a great job so the puck wasn't a scoring opportunity, and we'll have to let you know how he is on the bench. You saw him looking
Policelli thought about stepping up to keep it at the blue line and wisely waited for it to make sure that they had control and don't cause a turnover. Then it's dumped back in, icing is waved off. Randy Rowe in to get it. Rowe leaves it, Zion tried to wrap up Papineau. And Policelli gets it at the point, shoots through the screen. Zuper steers it off into the corner. Jacobs along the board, picked up by Bertrand. Bertrand whips it towards the front of the net. He can't get it that far. And now it'll just be waddable out to the middle ice area. The old knuckleball to clear the zone, and it looks like Belleville was offside, as I think Justin Papineau was a couple of strides ahead of the play on the far side.
Well, on this shift, the defensive pairing of Bertrand and Policelli, especially in the third period, you really notice Policelli really stepping up. Bertrand also playing solid tonight. Bertrand leads out of these 2 clubs with a +6. Excuse me, Kornacki up there with a +7. Policelli playing fantastic, and you hear his name a lot here in the third, and they've been a sharp pairing for the Belleville Bulls.
Policelli's only listed as a +1 coming into this game, but he seems to be playing like someone who's got more like a +10.
Yeah, he's been feisty right from pregame with Belleville. He's playing hard tonight for the Belleville Bulls.
Zenik Konopka tries to step through the middle, but Cheechoo lays the shoulder into him. And Cheechoo looking to get the puck, but instead he gets dumped by Galbraith. And Galbraith wants to have a word with Cheechoo, and Hobart was looking at Galbraith, and I'm surprised Galbraith didn't get a penalty for dumping or interfering with the progress of Jonathan Cheechoo.
Yeah, no call on the play. Lance Galbraith stood up Jonathan Cheechoo. They're battling with each other. Opposite wingers. See Van Hoof. Dump the puck out. Watch the hit right here. Cheechoo. Big hit.
Maybe a little bit of an elbow that got Lance's ire up. But that was a nice solid shoulder lean to start with anyways.
Oh yeah.
And you know, it's the time of the OHL playoffs, which means baseball is just around the corner, but you can catch the early games on Rogers Television. The first game will be Friday, May 19th. Ottawa viewers only, of course. That's at 7 p.m. It's the Tides versus the Lynx. The Cats are on the prowl on Rogers. Well, looks like Wayback and Tessier are going to try and do the dance at the center. And they get it off. Tessier wins it. Up off the boards, down the ice. No icing, says Derek Nansen. Policelli then will start up from behind his own net. Policelli, not with much speed, but still has lots of options. And still with all those options and no speed to the attack, manage a two-line pass. There's one of the biggest mental errors we've seen in the game.
Exactly.
Not a costly one, sorry, not a costly one at least though, Jerrett.
Well, not a costly one, just the same, but one that might wreck the flow of the momentum right there for the Belleville Bulls. And we're going to see more and more down the stretch drive. Face-offs here, 6:34 to go, how crucial they are. Dan Tessier, of course, last year, the winner of the Face-Off Award for Best Face-Off. He's up for the award again this year, and for the Belleville Bulls, Chris Stanley is up for that award. So we'll maybe see a battle with 6:28 to go between Stanley and Tessier.
Well, that time it was Papineau that took it. Wayback steps over the line, takes a nice slash from Sellers. Papineau with the shot, there's traffic in front, and Rowe had parked up in front of the net. And it looks like Bertrand decided to rub out the Ottawa player on the glass. Wayback loses his balance a bit behind his own net, but there's no pressure from Ottawa as Tessier quite content to stay out front. Bertrand off his skate, goes by Tessier, gets it to Rowe. Rowe had to stop and dump it in. That allows Ottawa to gain possession in their own zone. Justin Papineau trying to force Ottawa off the puck. Davidson goes to the backhand, and Davidson was worried about the steam train coming at him that was labeled Kevin Baker, and those Belleville Bulls are now charging at the Matadors yet again, and they need to do this to get Ottawa off their game and try and get something to happen for them.
Well, a little bit of fisticuffs here after the whistle, but a good job by both players on each club. Kevin Baker forcing the play to Randy Davidson, but Davidson does a good job. What a winger's got to do is get that puck across the blue line. And I remember playing for Brian Kilray, and he'd often say, I don't care if you kick it, throw it, chew on it, put it underneath your pad, just get the puck out over the blue line. And that's what Randy Davidson does. He tries to go off the glass. It ends up going up over the boards, but it's a good play just the same, because if it doesn't get out, it could go off a pad, off Baker, and all of a sudden in the corner, and they've got a transition. So good job by Baker to force the play. They have a face-off down deep, and a good job by Davidson moving the puck.
So just out of curiosity, did you chew on a lot of pucks for Killer?
Well, sometimes I chewed on the bench quite often for not getting that puck out over the blue line, but I didn't do too bad.
Well, Belleville doesn't do too bad as they win the draw, put it right in front of the net, and super sharp again. Hasn't been tested often, but when he has been sharp. Shots on net now for the first time in this game in favor of Belleville, 23-22, as Hutt touches it up. And speaking of Hutt, let's go to our little grass hut guy. That would be Howie Mooney.
All right, our next broadcast on OHL Primetime will be tomorrow night, 7:30 game time, but we will have a pregame show for you. It'll be brought to you by Quinty Cable, and we'll get the audio again from CKQB. So 6:30 for Belleville viewers. That is Game 4 on Sunday. That's when it will be broadcast for you on Sunday.
Well, Konopka having words with Hobart. I guess he realized we were doing a promo and needed some extra time, so that was good. Glad he helped us out. I'll have to thank him after the game.
Konopka's been a workhorse for the 67's. He's been great on the draw all night.
And this is a big one. We saw Tessier taking a lot of big draws, and here's Konopka taking an equally big one, and he wins it. And Holdridge with one hand on the stick and one hand on the other stick, belonging to Belleville. And that's as far as he got was the blue line. It's out in front. Now Belleville with the shot! And they can't get it past Clemente Zucker. They didn't even hit the net on that one, but they were oh so close. Johnson Cheechoo, always dangerous. Les Chalmers picks off the pass to the defense. He skates out. He's got two men with him. He dumps it in. And now Belleville's back defensive mode. Miguel DeLille forces the puck to go around the glass. Pair of 23s bounce off each other, and the Ottawa player wins that battle. Konopka throws it in before getting a little bump from behind by Kevin Baker. Here comes Michael Jacobson. He just decides to dump it in once he crosses the red line. Levente Zuper touched and waved off icing. I don't think Levente Zuper realized it was going to be icing. Wellwood trying to steal it from Konopka at the blue line. Oh, Konopka got hammered! Oh, did he get run by Stanley and Cheechoo? Here comes Nathan Robinson. Nathan Robinson gets a burst of speed, tried to throw it ahead for Wayback, but he didn't see him. As Galbraith was thinking about jumping into the play, but Policelli had the stick out, was ready to lift him and fork him over. So Galbraith went to the bench instead. Nathan Robinson again picks up the puck in traffic. Look at the talent of Nathan Robinson. Two guys off, still dumps it into the corner. Van Hoop was the first man there though, and he gets it up along the board for Jacobs. Jacobs cross side for Zoltek. Zoltek has Talbot front, and he can't get it to Talbot. Talbot calls down, going to the net, no call. As Campbell gives him a little pat on the bum to say thank you for not running into me and breaking my knee into a billion pieces. Zoltek has to go off on the down ice. Icing was waved off as a result. Bertrand picks it up. Pressure from Talbot. Jacobs picks it up. Tries to throw it up front to Zoltek, who's coming in. Doesn't get to him. Zoltek can't get it off the stick of Nathan Robinson. When Nathan Robinson wants to, it's like a piece of Velcro out there. Wellwood steps around his man. Goes to the front of the net. Puck check by Levente Zuper, and he makes a great save.
Oh, this is a big save from Levente Zuper. A nice 1-2 combo from Robinson up to Wellwood. Two of the more faster players in the Ontario Hockey League. And Zuper again makes a big time save at a big time in the game with 3:26 to go.
Take a look at this again.
Yeah, there's the pass from Robinson. Look at the move by the first round draft choice, Wellwood.
Van Hoop a little lackadaisical in getting over to make a play on him, allowing Zuper to make the play uninhibited.
Yeah, watch the move on Moyer, right around. Van Hoop can't get across in time, and Zuper has to come up with a big save, and look at Robinson going to the net for the rebound. Holdridge picked him up, but good save by Levente Zuper again at a timely time for Ottawa.
But did you see how many white shirts were back in the slot as soon as the puck was down there? There was 4. Against Belleville's 2 black shirts. Puck thrown down the ice, icing waved off. Kornacki takes his time getting to it. Decides to wheel out to the far side. Cuts back into the middle. He's got some speed now. Crosses the red line. Dumps it in just wide of the net. Kornacki gives Chase his own dump in. Can't get to it. Ottawa will pick it up. They fire it out. Tatar will give Chase. Campbell and Jacobson. Tatar was, I don't know, I guess he decided not to go for it. But Jacobson got there. And now he has the puck. Jacobson comes out from his own zone. And he just dumps it in. Ottawa gets back and just lofts it down the ice. It's going to go right on net. Icing waved off. Ottawa doing a great job putting those long, long shots down the ice right onto Corey Campbell. Radovojevic drops it back to Rowe. He can't handle it. So Kornacki tries to throw it ahead for Papineau. He can't get a handle on it either. And this time, you finally get an icing call going against Ottawa, and they tried to do it 4 or 5 times, but each time it was on net.
Well, you had a quick look at Rick Bertrand there, the Belleville defenseman. You could see in his face he was exhausted. The Bulls D playing it out. Meze looked really tired.
Speaking of looking tired, when Jacobson was carrying that puck up the ice, he got to the blue line. He started at the hash marks. He had 4 guys in front of him. By the time he got to the blue line, he was the second lead guy. Is that where a case where you just know that you just got to get the line change to happen, or is that a case of the guys not reading the play and just taking straight lanes instead of crossing?
Both teams are pretty good at reading the plays and know what's going on. It's just a case of having to get the body off the ice and get some fresh legs out there. But both clubs, especially the defense in this game, have really been workhorses out there. You use that word a lot, but that's the way it's been. And Bertrand, Van Hoof, a lot of defensive defensemen really stepping up to the plate.
It's funny, off the top of the show, we called for the offensive defenseman to step in.
Exactly.
Van Hoof chips it up along the boards. Gets some help from Miguel DeLille. Zdenek Konopka now also over there, but they can't get it past Belleville. Puck loose in the high slot area. Now it's chipped behind the net. Try to throw it out front where Baker was standing. Wellwood puts on the brakes, reverses flow. DeLille knocks it back to the point. Zuper has to make a sharp save. Van Hoof can't get it up. Bertrand keeps it in, throws to the front. Galbraith picks it up from Cheechoo and throws it away as Van Hook was thinking of jumping up and going after it, but he needs to change, so he'll go off and Zion comes out in his place. Number 4, Jonathan Zion picks it up, steps up over the red line, and he just dumps it in knowing that his teammates need a much-deserved rest, and they need to change those skaters. Jonathan Cheechoo with it now. Belleville's number 19, he crosses over the red line, gets to the blue line, has it knocked off his stick, where Zoltek is quite content to throw it down the ice. Zoltek is hauled down, and a little too much grease on those flippers of his. I guess as he went down, as Hobart just wasn't buying on that sell job.
No, there's going to be no penalty on that. The whistle's in the pocket, and just the same, it wasn't a penalty on that play. 1:11 to go. They're not going to call a questionable call at that time. You look to one team calling a timeout here with 1:11 to go. 3-2 the score.
As Hobart's calling for the lineup, saying, let's go, boys, get it in place. You see there, 3-2 is the score in favor of the hometown Ottawa 67's. The Belleville Bulls have pulled their goaltender, and 1:11 left to go. You'd have to wonder, I guess they're going to try and save that timeout. Oh, now they're going to take it. Wait as much time as you can on the face-off, and just before he drops the puck, call the timeout.
Yes.
That's a good strategy. Get them a big rest.
That gives them a huge rest, and they're not going to call a delay a game on a situation like that because
they are lined up.
They actually lined up, so it's a smart play. They take their time to line up. They get an extra 30 to 45 seconds, maybe even a minute on that play because they did the little delay before where the referee Holberg says, come on, get to the face-off circle. So they get an extra minute and a half out of that. It's a smart play, and then the actual timeout begins.
That's true, yeah, and then you start the timeout. You can't talk strategy, but you do get the rest, and that's the brilliant part about that. Get the guys rested so they're not huffing and puffing and wheezing while they're listening to the strategy. Instead, they've already taken their 10, 20-second breather, and now they'll go out.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 street when you go with that. At the same time, you give the other clubs penalty killers, or not penalty killers, but the defensive players, the defenders, the opportunity to have a rest as well. It's a balanced attack of who is on the ice and who you want to have on, and that's your key. They want the same forwards on for the Belleville Bulls who were just on, so they give Papineau and the guys some chance to rest.
So Dan Tessier will take the draw. He's going against Justin Papineau as he has done for most of the last 2 periods.
Watch if they don't try and get Tessier kicked out because they have Stanley on, their nominee for a face-off player.
They just drop it clean and away it goes. It is 6 skaters on the ice for Belleville, and they just about deflected one by Levente Zuber. Trying to punch it in now. That doesn't work. Rowe throws it downside to Stanley. The pressure will be fierce now. And the puck goes way, way up, and then comes down just outside the ice surface area in about the second row. Now 52 seconds, 52.7. Does Brian Kilray take a timeout to give his boys a rest, or do you keep them going?
Well, that's a good call on that one. Maybe they go with the flow on it. They've won the last face-off. Dan Tessier's on a roll. At the same time, Dan Tessier returning from injury. Anytime you can give him a breather, maybe you do that, but he won the last one.
And you see Davidson out there with Sellers, Zion, Tessier at the middle, and Talbot on the far side. So a little different lineup here. And Super, loose puck! Oh, and Hobart lost sight, and there were 4 black shirts standing on the doorstep, and Hobart blew it dead.
Oh, this one, it's a miscommunication behind the 67 net, and the Belleville Bulls have an opportunity to come right out front. A glorious opportunity for the Belleville Bulls, but Levente Zuber jumps on the scrambling loose puck in front of the net. Take a look at the rebound here. Zion loses the puck. Sellers is caught looking the other way, but he does get his skate on it, and that was close. There's the loose puck and the whistle, and you see the Belleville Bulls calling out a why the quick whistle, and Ottawa calls a timeout.
Well, you know, I did do a bit of coaching in my day, so. Like it was tough to predict. 45.9 seconds left to go. Ottawa clinging to a 1-goal lead. Belleville with all the pressure in the last minute and a half, would you say?
Well, they've been certainly sustained. Yes, they've been in on top, doing an effective job. Watch the performance of the wingers. We haven't talked about this, Neil, but in Game 1 when Meze got knocked out with the concussion, what it was with a minute left to go, the face-off was won by Belleville. It went along to the boards, and Lance Galbraith got out on Meze, got a cross-check up on him as he did everything he did possibly to get that puck, and he ended up kicking the puck out about 2 feet over the line, and it was a good play by Lance Galbraith, but at the same time, that's what injured Meze, and I know Belleville Bulls personnel was upset with the play, knocking Meze out. Some people say it was a great play by a gritty winger to get that puck out deep. Belleville say it was a cross-check, and Meze's not out with a concussion.
Again, Ottawa wins the draw. It's whipped along the board. Davidson will try to get out. Davidson gets it up and down the ice, but this is icing. He tried to go for the net. And Rowe will hustle back to pound it off the boards and to bring it back down into the Ottawa zone. And I know Davidson was supposed to put it down the ice, but I'm not so sure he was supposed to put it down the ice that far, that fast.
No, Brian Kilrea's not happy about it, shaking his head on the play. Davidson, a 19-year-old, and he's put on in this situation 4 plays like that. If he would have chipped it just out over the blue line, it would have killed a lot of the clock, and it wouldn't be a face-off down deep in the 67 zone. Let's see if they try that strategy, Belleville, of getting Tessier, the best face-off player, out and moving Stanley in. But if they still go with Papineau on Tessier, and he's been winning the face-offs.
Well, Sellers wants to line up against Stanley instead. And Stanley will get the puck. No, goes back to Cheechoo. Cheechoo takes the slap from Davidson. Tessier rides him off. Oh, it's in front of the net. Deflected again. This time just bounces off to the far side. Ottawa digging hard. Get it. Back at it down the ice. And this one will again be icy, but it's going to take a little longer to get there. Rowe again back to touch it up, but the key is it was sent down softly down the ice. Took another 2-3 seconds off the clock. We're now at 20 seconds even for this Belleville squad to try and tie things up.
There's so many games within a game here in the last minutes of play. Justin Papineau won the draw for the Belleville Bulls to give him the opportunity against a great face-off player like Tessier, and then Joe Talbot along the boards gets across, gets his body up on the glass, stops the puck from going in, and gets it down the ice.
So now Talbot and Zoltek come out. Tessier still out there to take the draw. I guess they were saving Tessier for this last 5 minutes of hockey. He's been out to take every single draw. And he wins it again. Johnson side, whip trail board. Zoltek on Cheechoo. Cheechoo keeps it in. It's sent out in front. Radavoy can't pull the trigger. He throws it out front, and it bounces over the stick to Chris Stanley. And Ottawa gets it out. 5 seconds left. Ottawa is going to win game 3. 1 second. It is over. Ottawa 3-2 winners over the Belleville Bulls. What a strong game by both teams down to the wire.
What a fantastic game in the nation's capital tonight in Game 3. The 67's take a 2-1 series lead heading back to Belleville. Now we talked about the defense, how the offense had to jump up at the start. We saw that with Zion, a couple assists, Sellers with a big goal, Holdridge, Kornakius solid offensively for Belleville, but the defensive defensemen played a huge role as well in this game. The guys like Van Hoof doing a solid job for Ottawa, Holdridge, Policelli, and Bertrand, a fantastic game, and the 67's win this one.
Boy, I wouldn't want to be picking the 3 stars tonight. There's a lot of players out there. That was a really good, what I thought, team effort from both sides.
Yeah, it was a fantastic team effort. A lot of the game being played in the trenches, in between the 2 blue lines, in around the center ice area, and the defense did a really good job. Wingers picked up wingers, centers won face-offs. A great game. The crowd was electric. Fantastic contest tonight.
And it was a good crowd, saw a good game. And I think Mike Ross is just getting set to give us our 3-star selection. And from here, it looks like all white shirts. Here we go.
3-star selection, les 3 étoiles du match, Molson. La 3e étoile, the 3rd star from the 67's, number 30, Laventie La 2e étoile, the 2nd star from the 67's, number 3, Dan Tessier. Et la première étoile, the 1st star from the 67's, number 4, John Zion.
Well, you can't argue with the 3 stars as far as Ottawa's concerned, but if you're an objective person, I sure am surprised to see no black shirts. out there because there was definitely some players deserving. You mentioned Bertrand, number 44, and Jacobson played a strong game as well, so did Policelli. What do you think, Jerrett?
Yeah, exactly. It's a 3-2 hockey game, and it's a gritty performance from both clubs. One Belleville Bulls got to come up on it, but it was a solid performance all around and a gritty performance by the Ottawa 67's with injured players out of the lineup. A gritty performance here at home and a great game.
Well, that concludes the action from up here in the gondola. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Howie will have the first star standing by with him. Thank you for watching. Howie will be back with closing comments on Rogers OHL Prime Time right after this.
Welcome back to OHL Primetime. We're at ringside with the number 1 star of tonight's game, John Zion. John, a huge win for the 67.
Oh, definitely. We didn't want to go into Belleville, a game down going into the rink. That was definitely a huge win for us today.
After the first 10 minutes, what were you guys thinking?
I guess we were a little worried. They scored 2 quick goals, but we battled back hard, and it paid off.
Is this becoming a war?
Oh, it's always been a war with us in Belleville for the last 3 years since I've.
But it's never been like this. It's been getting crazy the last game and this game.
Yeah, our games are getting a lot rougher. Usually we're finesse teams, but there's a lot of stick work going on out there.
After that last game in Belleville, do you guys know what you have to do? I mean, what do you have to do?
Well, we got to go in hard and forecheck in Belleville. We got to take it to them early instead of letting them take it to us. We got to establish ourselves in their rink.
What happened? What was that thing all about before the game? What was going on there?
I don't know. Policelli and Lance don't get along too well, and
do you think?
I think they want to get something going out there. I don't know.
But it didn't really translate to that in the game, though. I mean, it was a pretty good game, other than a few things here and there.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad out there. I don't think that had really an effect on the game.
John, congratulations and good luck the rest of the way.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, John Zion, the number 1 star of tonight's game. 67's take this one 3-2 to take a 2-1 series lead. 26-24 the shots on goal in favor of Belleville. Although we heard Neil saying that the Belleville Bulls took the lead in shots for the first time. They did have a 5-0 shots on goal lead at one point in this game. Fans here around us are great fans we've got in this city right now, and they certainly showed themselves tonight. 67's with a 3-2 victory. They will be heading off to Belleville for Game 4 tomorrow night. 7:30 will be the start. We will have it live for you right here on Rogers Television, courtesy of Quinty Cable. The audio will be from CKQB, the Belleville radio station. And so we'll wrap things up here for Jerrett and for Neil and for everybody in the Rogers family. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you next time on OHL Primetime.